Report, target has been eliminated. We're conducting on-site investigation right now. I stared at everything in front of me in total shock. I couldn't believe my eyes. The campus belle, who was already stone dead, turned out to be a monster, and the girl who killed the monster was my classmate. The girl walked up to me while reporting the situation. She added that a civilian was involved in this operation. His heart was ripped out. He's totally dead. Then she gently held my hand and placed it on my chest. May your soul rest in peace. May you never have to. Before she could finish speaking, I cut her off. The girl was so scared that she jumped backward. She pulled out her scythe and got into a fighting stance. Are you a human or a ghost? I'm human, I think. I'm still breathing, see? Actually, my eyes were open the whole time. Everything just happened way too fast. 2 hours ago. The campus belle showed up at my door out of the blue. She said she wanted to discuss the origin of humans with me. Not long after, the campus belle suddenly said out of nowhere that she couldn't wait any longer. Then she bared a row of sharp teeth and claws. She slammed her claw into my chest right away. Right after that, a figure flashed past. The campus belle fell to the ground, lifeless. And the one who did it was the girl in front of me, Suzuki. At that moment, she looked as if she'd found a new continent. She stared at me curiously. No infection, no awakening either. Heart is damaged, but he's still alive. This is the first time I've ever seen something like this. Just when I was about to ask if she recognized me, some voices came through her earpiece. Muwan, your signal is still at the scene. Is there any special situation? Then she stood up and walked to the window. She started reporting everything that had happened. 24/7 full surveillance. That's right. We'll observe him for a week for now. If he doesn't mutate, bring him back to headquarters. I was totally confused listening to all this. Infected? Awakeners. Are we shooting a movie or what? Then Li Muwan took out a yellow talisman, mumbling something under her breath. After the talisman burned up in midair, it turned into countless black souls scurrying everywhere. In no time, the bloody messy living room was clean and tidy again. Even the campus belle's body was gone without a trace. After she finished all this, Li Muwan sat beside me, staring at me. We just stared at each other awkwardly. After a long while, I couldn't hold it in anymore. Are you gonna kill me? She shook her head first, then nodded. It depends on the observation results. If you get infected, I'll kill you. I couldn't help but wonder right now. Is this really the cute classmate I remembered? Why is she so different now? Just then, her phone rang. She glanced at it. She mumbled for no reason that it was time. She stood up and walked towards the bathroom. Listening to the sound of running water, my eyes drifted towards the bathroom uncontrollably. I shook my head hard. I forced myself to focus back. I looked at my own heart on the floor. I sighed helplessly. Suddenly there was a sharp pain in my chest. I subconsciously raised my hand to scratch it. I was shocked to find that the original bloody hole had completely disappeared without a trace. Only a little bit of blood was left, as if it was reminding me. Everything that just happened wasn't a hallucination. I stood up and moved my body a little. I found that the pain was also gone. All of this seemed way too magical. Right at this moment, the doorbell rang. Then I went back to the bedroom and changed my clothes. Then I threw my own heart into the trash can. I opened the door after tidying everything up. Liu Ruyan was standing outside the door, staring at me with a cold face. Why didn't you answer my calls yesterday? I frowned when I saw her. I was a little annoyed. Didn't you agree to young Master Zhou's confession? What do you want? If nothing, get lost. Liu Ruyan was stunned after hearing this. How could her simp treat her like this? Before, even if he was in class. If she said she wanted milk tea, he would immediately run out of the college, ride his bike super far, to buy from the shop she likes. But now his attitude was completely different, like he was a different person. I can forgive you this time, but I hope this won't happen again. Suddenly, the bathroom door opened. Li Muwan walked over from the living room. Oh, right, I didn't bring pajamas. I found one in your room. I saw that she was wearing a semi-transparent white camisole nightdress. Her faintly visible curves made me believe in light again. Liu Ruyan was startled by Li Muwan's sudden appearance. Why are you here? And you're wearing my pajamas. Then she glares at me, face pale with rage. You better give me a damn explanation, honestly speaking. My mind is a total mess right now. Way too much has happened today. Pick any one of those things. It's enough to make anyone's brain crash. Take this pajama, for example. When Liu Ruyan's first love went abroad, she got wasted and forced herself on me. Then she chewed me out real bad after that. In the end, she cried and threw the pajama she'd planned to wear for her crush at me like it was trash. Just when I thought my brain was gonna explode. A soft touch landed on my arm. I was slightly stunned for a second. I turned my head to look. and saw Li Muan smiling at Liu Ruyan. What's going on? Who's this older lady? Liu Ruyan flew into a rage at being called older lady, even though she's super good looking. Next to Li Muan, she just can't compare. Li Muan rubbed her eyes. Oh, it's senior sister. I just got out of the shower. My eyes are still a little sore. I thought you were the neighborhood auntie from the silhouette. You say that again? Liu Ruyan was shaking all over with anger. Oh, so this pajama is yours. Oh, such bad taste. Plus, it's way too small for me. As she said that, Li Muan lightly tugged at the fabric on her chest. My mouth went dry just watching that. All of a sudden, I had the urge to drag her off to study the origin of humanity, seeing she couldn't win the argument. Liu Ruyan turned around and left immediately, after her figure completely vanished. The girl next to me slowly stopped smiling. She slammed the door shut, then dragged me back to the bedroom. Lift up your shirt? I hesitated a little when I heard that, but I still slowly lifted up the clean shirt I'd just put on. Li Muan carefully examined my chest. The wound is healed completely. Even the organs have regenerated. Then she looked up at me. Good news and bad news. Which one do you want to hear first? Good news, I guess. You're safe for now. There's no risk of you dying. What about the bad news? Li Muan's gaze suddenly turned cold. Humans don't have this kind of power. Over the next 7 days, if you get infected, I will kill you. That's definitely bad news. Then she turned to walk towards the living room. Huh? What are you doing? Taking a shower, duh. I need to go to bed in 5 minutes. Can't wait any longer. This is my first surveillance mission. I have to see it through properly. Even when I sleep, I have to stay in the same bed as you. Before I could get over my shock, she pulled out a pair of handcuffs and cuffed our arms together, then dragged me onto the bed. 1 minute left. I'm gonna go to sleep. Also, don't move around when we're sleeping, or I'll slit your throat. 10 seconds left. Good night. I was completely confused the whole time, lying in the same bed as her. Exactly 10 seconds later, I heard Li Muan's steady breathing. I sighed heavily as I stared at the ceiling. Whatever, I'll deal with it tomorrow. I slowly opened my eyes groggily and found myself in a weird office. The fan above was making a harsh scraping noise. The air reeked of old mildew. The paint on the walls was peeling off, but this place didn't feel unfamiliar to me at all. Ever since I was 5 years old, I've had this same dream over and over again. I was pretty scared of it at first. As I got older, I just got used to it. Right then, the filing cabinet against the wall opened on its own for no reason. I walked over and flipped through the documents inside. They contained some incomprehensible records about the 1,000-year-long war between awakeners and beasts. Beast hordes appear every once in a while and launch brutal, inhumane attacks on humans. After each attack, they retreat back into the rift to wait for their next assault. All the content after that was shrouded in fog. I couldn't read any of it. Wait a minute. Are these the same awakeners and infected people Li Muan mentioned? That's gotta be it, right? Just as I was thinking about this, the office door that hasn't opened in over 10 years let out a young girl's soft whisper. You can't escape. I jolted awake, eyes flying open. I realized it was just Li Muan talking in her sleep. Ha ha! You can't run away. You're all my bread, cakes, and desserts. Get in my mouth already. I opened my eyes the next day. I found myself feeling super energized. Wondered if it was the infection Li Muan mentioned before. Right at that moment, Li Muan opened her bleary eyes. Are you that excited? That question made me jump out of my skin. Excited? Excited about what? Then I got what she was implying. This girl was hugging me while she slept just now. Her leg was resting on my stomach. Her calf naturally brushed against a place it shouldn't have. I can explain. This is a normal physiological reaction. Why are you so nervous? You gonna hit me? All we heard was a click. The handcuffs that were linking us together suddenly had my end cuffed to the bedhead instead. What are you doing? I have a habit of taking a shower in the morning. If we follow the 24/7 monitoring rule, when I'm taking a shower, you have to stay in the same room as me too. But I don't think you're in the right state for that right now. She even glanced pointedly at my lower abdomen after saying that. It was fine before she said that, but her words just made the situation worse. I could only look up at the ceiling helplessly. After a while, we added each other as friends online, then we headed to campus together. Half an hour later, we arrived at the school gate. Li Muan suddenly looked over at me. I hadn't even processed what get ready meant. She linked her arm through mine. Her entire demeanor changed right after that. Before I could say anything, a girl's voice came from behind us. Muan, who is this guy? Morning, let me introduce you. This is my new boyfriend. In the classroom, I watched Li Muan, getting along really well with the other students. I couldn't help but wonder, Is this the same decisive, ruthless girl I saw last night? And in the other students' eyes, I was just a simp for Liu Ruyan. Now that she's dating a rich second gen, I've turned into a total joke. But when Li Muan showed up in class hugging me, it caused a huge commotion. When the female classmates asked Li Muan questions, she always had that sweet, lovesick smile on her face. She even glanced over at me from time to time. Her eyes were full of fondness and love. But that made me feel super uncomfortable all over. This girl's acting is so good, even her eyes are selling it. Right at that moment, my phone text alert went off. I picked it up and saw it was from Liu Ruyan. I want milk tea. Remember, 20 cups. My classmates want some too. If I don't see the milk tea in 10 minutes, you'll face the consequences. Looking at this string of messages, I blocked her immediately. I don't know if it's because my heart was ripped out last night. Now when I see Liu Ruyan, I feel nothing but disgust. The morning classes passed really fast. On our way home, Li Muan stopped me. Hey, don't move. Let me check if you've gotten taller. That's just your imagination. I've always been this tall. No, you're a bit taller than you were last night. Is this a symptom of being infected? Come on, dude. It's totally normal for guys to keep growing until they're 20. Can you not be so sensitive? Then I looked at the top of her head. I frowned and told her to turn around. Hey, you, don't try anything funny. I can kill you even if we're at school. Li Muan turned around hesitantly, but the next second she realized she was overthinking. I reached out and pulled off the hair clip on her head. Her long, straight black hair fell down. I have OCD. A few strands of hair at the back of your head were sticking up. I mumbled as I helped smooth her hair down. When I was done, I looked at her curiously. This hair clip is so worn out. Why don't you get a new one? Hearing that, Li Muan seemed to drop all her pretenses in that instant. She only answered 3 words. It still works. From afar, Liu Ruyan watched the two of them messing around. Does he really not like me anymore? A strong sense of loss washed over her. At the same time, on a rooftop somewhere, a man in worn-out denim clothes was sitting on the edge of the balcony, casually eating instant noodles. His beat-up old phone next to him suddenly rang. Hello? Yeah, it's me. I'm eating breakfast. Yeah, instant noodles for breakfast. Another person's questioning voice came from the phone. Well, my little apprentice just started college, right? I paid her tuition and bought her clothes. I ran out of money. She's family to us anyway. If you're having trouble, just say so. Don't carry it all on your own. We've made it through over 10 years already. It's not like we can't get through this, okay? A pioneer-class beast crossed the rift this time. Go look into it. Also, did that girl go on a stakeout? Yeah, don't judge her by how she acts normally. She's actually a total coward. Don't assign her weird missions anymore. Relax, it's just watching a suspected infected. Just 1 week, okay? As long as it doesn't involve beasts, it's fine. The man hung up the phone, picked up his half-eaten instant noodles, smiled and looked toward a spot in the city. On a remote, desolate street, a blood-covered man was running for his life. Help! Someone please help me! But this was a demolition-bound street, completely empty. No one answered his cries for help at all. Suddenly, hot breath huffed against the man's back. He slowly lifted his head and saw a hideous monster staring right at him. The next second, it lunged straight at the man. But right as its teeth were about to touch the man, a bullet pierced through the monster's neck. The massive impact sent the monster flying. A man in worn-out denim clothes calmly walked over to finish it off. A few seconds later, he stood in front of the monster and pulled out a pitch-black crystal from its body. Then he frowned and took out his phone. Hey, your intel's wrong, isn't it? Why is this only a Crimson Queen class beast? You said it'd be Pioneer class. Search around for the joint subjugation quest. It shouldn't be wrong. After hanging up the phone, the denim-clad man took out a yellow talisman, faced the injured man. All that you have seen is false. You will forget everything when dawn breaks. The injured man tried to ask more questions, but he couldn't hold on any longer and passed out. The denim man's face stayed blank. If you become an infected, we will meet again someday. With that, he vanished into the dark street. I walked out of school. I was planning to go home, but Li Muan dragged me to the commercial street. I watched Li Muan, who was wearing a mascot costume, walk out of the restaurant, holding a thick stack of flyers in her hand. I couldn't help remembering what someone told me before. Li Muan's parents died in an earthquake when she was little. She's been working part-time to pay her tuition since high school. Whether it's working as a supermarket cashier or handing out flyers, she'll take any job. But she's already an awakened, and she's part of a secret organization. Why is she still so short on money? As it got dark, Li Muan finished handing out all her flyers. Then she took off the mascot head and looked at me excitedly. Come on, I'll treat you to a big meal. looking at her sweat-soaked hair, ends, and cheeks. I froze on the spot without thinking, and forgot to respond. Lee Muan got embarrassed from me staring at her. What, do I look all messy? I scratched my head and hummed. No, you look really pretty. The atmosphere got a little awkward for a moment. I automatically looked away into the distance. 1 minute later, Lee Muan looked toward the noodle shop that was still open by the street. She looked at me a little sheepishly, is eating noodles okay? She glanced at me cautiously after saying that, like she was worried I'd get mad. Looking at her like that, I laughed happily. Sure, I love eating noodles. And I want a big bowl too. I was about to go return the mascot costume with her. Just then, a snarky voice came from behind me. Oh wow! You're the one who stole my besties, man. I frowned and turned around, and saw it was Liu Ruyan's best friend. I stared at her with a cold face. You got a problem? If not, piss off right now. As soon as I said that, Lee Muan laughed. That made already angry Jiang Meng totally lose it. She lifted her bag to throw it at Lee Muan. I kicked Jiang Meng flying hard with one foot, and pulled Lee Muan behind me to protect her. Jiang Meng laid on the ground in pain. Yu Si Tianbao. Wait till I get Ryan to come settle this with you. I walked over and yanked her up after hearing that, then threw her hard onto the bench nearby. Settle things, huh? We do have some scores to settle. Jiang Meng was shocked by this sudden turn of events. That simp, who used to be as weak as a little chick, was now ridiculously strong. When Lee Muan saw what I did, a tiny, almost unnoticeable smile tugged at the corner of her mouth. She mumbled softly, It's not just your looks that changed. Even your strength is starting to change. Are you actually an awakened or an infected? Soon, Liu Ruyan saw Jiang Meng crying on the bench and turned to look at me. Cut it out, okay. Look, Meng Meng is already crying. The second I finished speaking, I froze, because I realized the person in front of me seemed taller, and way more handsome too. Seeing this, Lee Muan immediately hooked her arm through mine. Look, that chubby girl is so mean. I'm so scared. I almost lost it laughing when I heard that. You can one-shot monsters for crying out loud. You're scared of a bunch of regular people. We messed around for a bit. Then I got tired of all the back and forth. I grabbed Jiang Meng and dragged her to the police station. I demanded she return the money she borrowed from me in Liu Ruyan's name all these years, which added up to 70,000 yuan in total. Since she had no money, she ended up writing an IOU. Watching Liu Ruyan and Jiang Meng walk away, I let out a long sigh of relief. It felt like I was saying goodbye to my old self. Lee Muan sat on the nearby steps, smiling. Oh, can't stand your precious first love getting wronged, huh? I burst out laughing when I heard that. Nah, it's just that this feels so damn good. After all that commotion, we didn't even get to eat our meal. I went home and made dinner myself. Lee Muan's eyes practically popped out of her head when she saw it. I couldn't help but sigh. What kind of life did this girl live before? During your observation period, just tell me whatever you want to eat, I said as I kept putting food on her plate. Lee Muan's eyes got a little moist when she heard that. She didn't say anything. But this meal made me feel like Lee Muan had let her guard down around me a little. After cleaning up after dinner, I headed straight for the bathroom. But what made me really awkward was Lee Muan followed right behind me, and she even started taking off her clothes. I totally panicked. What are you doing? Lee Muan looked at me with a completely innocent face. Didn't we agree on 24/7 full coverage monitoring? This is so inappropriate. Besides, I showered alone this morning, didn't I? Lee Muan finally agreed reluctantly. I could only be out of her sight when I was showering. While I was showering, Lee Muan sitting on the sofa had a small smile on her lips. Like all that stuff just now was just her messing with me on purpose. An hour later, Lee Muan and I did the whole routine again, handcuffed, sleeping under the same blanket, the whole 9 yards. It was the exact same time. Not a second more, not a second less. Half asleep. I opened my eyes, only to find the figure next to me was already gone. After searching for a bit, I saw Lee Muan standing on the balcony. The bright moonlight poured over her, making for a totally breathtaking scene. Suddenly, an icy voice came out of Lee Muan's mouth. Peek at me like that again. And I'll kill you! I was already guilty, so I jumped in fright. I just saw you were gone, so I got worried. She laughed, a playful look replacing her earlier expression. Ugh, I'm just messing with you, after that little stunt of hers. I was wide awake. You're a good person. But if you're an infected, I'll kill you without hesitation. I sighed when I heard that. If I ever turn into a man-eating monster, you'd be right to kill me. After I finished speaking, Lee Muan's gaze flickered a little. But I don't want to kill you. I never expected her to say something like that. I thought everything about her was just an act. But now it seems she's more fragile than I thought. She broke the silence after a long while. "You've heard about what happened to my family, right?" I nodded, didn't say much. I just looked at her quietly. That day was my 5th birthday. Master saved me during the disaster wave. I've been with Master ever since. The Night Patrol isn't as powerful as other organizations. We owe a lot of money. But no matter what, they always gave me the best they had, like family. It wasn't much. But every single thing was incredibly precious to me. This is the first gift Master ever gave me. As she said that, she carefully took out that old hair clip. I stayed next to her, listening patiently. From what she said, she belongs to an organization called the Night Patrol. Master is a 6 Realms Awakened. His abilities are pretty good. But after the impact of that year's disaster wave, he's terrified of fighting beasts. He can only take on missions related to the infected. She also said she loved the food I cook and loved living at my place. As she kept talking, glistening tears rolled down her face. I gently lifted my hand and wiped her tears away. "If you don't mind, you can keep at it all the time." Go ahead." "What?" Limawan stared at me in shock, then bit her lip lightly. Just as she was about to say something, a glint of red light flashed in her eyes. Then a scream came from the alley. When I turned to look, Limawan had already darted out. A shrill, miserable scream echoed in the quiet alley, along with weird chewing noises. By the time I got there, I was shocked to see a woman being gnawed on by some unknown monster. Suddenly, the woman spotted me hiding in the corner. I was just about to rush out when the unusually calm Limawan pulled me back. The woman on the ground seemed to realize there was no way she could survive. Her eyes filled with pleading. "Kill me?" The next moment, out of nowhere, Limawan pulled out a Grim Reaper's scythe. She darted out in a flash. A sharp blade glint flashed by, and the monster was sliced into pieces. Then she walked over to the woman, squatted down and held her hand, and placed it gently on her chest. "May your soul rest in peace, and suffer no pain in your next life." As she spoke, the scythe ended her suffering. Then she walked slowly towards me. "I'll call the organization to clean this up. Let's head back first." Just as she finished speaking, the air next to us started to warp. A spatial crack slowly appeared. Seeing this, I alerted her colleague, who ran towards her. Limawan turned around slowly and locked eyes with the monster crawling out of the crack. Her pupils shrank sharply the next second. She tried to block the monster's attack, but it was too late. The massive force sent her flying. She immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. The scythe in her hand also flew out of her grip and landed on the ground not far away. She obviously lost her ability to fight. Then she instinctively yelled in the direction I was standing just now. "Run!" She struggled to get to her feet, but found her legs were too weak to support her. Because the thing in front of her wasn't an infected at all. It was the beast that had traumatized her. Facing the beast's gaping, bloodied mouth, she clearly had no strength to fight back. At this life-or-death moment, a rock came flying over and hit the beast right on the head. I yelled loudly, trying to get the beast's attention, and gestured for her to run for her life. Then I threw another rock at the beast. This hit enraged it completely, and it leaped straight towards me. Limawan watched the beast approaching me. A deep sense of powerlessness washed over her. Memories came flooding back. Her parents killed brutally by the beast. People running for their lives everywhere. Soaring flames and sickening stench of blood. Suddenly a scream snapped her back to reality, only to see that one of my arms had been torn off, blood gushing out like a fountain. Her pupils started to dilate, and her face went blank. The searing pain almost made me lose consciousness. The next second, a raging fury filled my whole body. With the last of my senses, I yelled at Limawan, "Run! Don't just fucking stand there. Stay alive and avenge me." Limawan's vision was already blurry with tears. Then she seemed to make up her mind, took a deep breath, wiped the tears off her face, and gripped the scythe she had picked up tightly. Her gaze turned ice cold. The next second, her whole aura flared up. Now, as soon as she spoke, she darted out like lightning. In an instant, one of the beast's arms was sliced off. It let out a furious roar, but its expression slowly turned playful. It curled the corners of its mouth, as if mocking her. Limawan stared at the beast warily, her whole body drenched in cold sweat. Suddenly, the beast attacked, and was in front of Limawan in the blink of an eye. Limawan had no time to dodge. She only felt a cold sensation in her chest, followed by intense pain spreading all over her body. My consciousness was already fuzzy by this point. The pain from my broken arm was worse than having my heart torn out. For some reason, my healing ability had completely disappeared. I tried hard to stay awake. Suddenly, a figure fell into my arms. Limuan looked at me weakly. When she saw I was still alive, a faint smile appeared on her pale lips. "You're alive. Who's there?" Thank God. Every word she spoke seemed to take all her strength. Blood kept flowing out of her mouth, but she still wanted to tell me more. "Does what you said on the balcony just now still count?" I broke down in tears when I heard that. I nodded my head like crazy. I held her in my arms as tight as I could, hoping her body heat wouldn't fade away so fast. When Lee Muan saw this, a look of relief crossed her face. "I really, really want to eat your cooking again." Then she slowly closed her eyes and never opened them again. I stared blankly at the lifeless Lee Muan. My mind went completely blank, and the monster seemed pretty pleased with its masterpiece, and was slowly approaching me, each step treading on Lee Muan's blood. Looking at everything in front of me, an unknown fury burned through my entire body. I clenched my fists as tight as possible, my nails digging deep into the palm of my hand. All of a sudden, everything around me turned black and white. Only the girl in my arms was the only splash of color in this whole world. All the bones and muscles in my body were changing, like I was going to explode and die the next second. My skin gradually turned pale. Pale white bones started to emerge on the surface. My broken arm also grew back completely. Finally, I turned into a weirdo fully covered in white bone armor. My originally black pupils were replaced by blue flames. Right after that, a powerful aura burst out. It spread across the entire city in the blink of an eye. For a moment, all the awakened in the city looked in the same direction in horror. This aura made them tremble with fear, because this was the aura of a beast. And the level of this aura was actually Abyss rank starting from now. I'm going to put you under 24/7 surveillance for a whole week. Let me introduce you all. This is my new boyfriend. Wait, have you gotten taller? Did you mutate again or something? Wow, your cooking is so delicious. Run fast, I'll hold him off. I really want to eat your cooking again. All the past memories flashed through my mind. I held her tightly as she slowly lost her body heat, but the constantly rearranging bones and flesh in my body hurt so bad that I had to let go. At this moment, the long-suppressed anger and unwillingness exploded instantly. In an instant, everything around turned black and white again, and the monster that caused all this let out a contemptuous laugh. It flashed and appeared right in front of me, but what I expected didn't happen. A pale white bone hand blocked its attack. My original body disappeared, and what replaced it was a humanoid creature fully covered in bone armor. This made the smug monster fall into panic, because it could already sense the aura of death. The next second, I threw a punch with all my strength. The terrifying force came with a whooshing sound, and charged straight at the monster. Powerful energy spread out in an instant. Where the monster was just now, there was only dust all over the sky, and a gray crystal floating in midair. But the crystal couldn't withstand the aftershock of the attack, and shattered into pieces. Countless gray streams of energy poured into my body. At the same time, my tailbone started growing like crazy. After doing all this, I walked heavily to Lee Muan's side and gently stroked her cheek. Then I took a green crystal out of my body and placed it on her chest. The crystal was completely absorbed very soon. Then I slowly picked up her body and walked slowly out of this dark alley. But the moment I walked out of the alley, a man in denim clothes pointed a gun at my forehead. What a lucky break. It's an Abyss rank. I really hit the jackpot today. But when the man saw Lee Muan in my arms, the smile on his face froze instantly. His hand also started shaking uncontrollably. What did you do? Did you kill this girl? I didn't answer him. I just stared quietly at the girl in my arms. I lifted my head a few seconds later. She's not dead yet. After hearing that, the man saw that the originally lifeless Lee Muan was slowly regaining a pulse in her chest. What the hell did you do to her? I really couldn't hold on any longer at this point. I tried my best to lift my head. I won't let her die. Then my eyes went black and I passed out. In a daze, I entered the same dream I've had for 15 years again. Suddenly, the door behind me slowly opened. What came into view was an office area. Countless desks were arranged neatly. I walked through it and reached another door. I pushed it gently, and the door opened. Everything I could see was pitch black. There was a pungent smell of mildew in the air. At the same time, the candles on both sides of the path lit up one by one, and at the end of the road, something seems to be making noise there. I walked toward the sound, passing one huge prison cell after another. I could feel that in this place, there was some kind of presence I couldn't understand. Those things were watching me. I had no choice but to ignore them. bit the bullet, and kept going. Soon, a gate covered in carvings came into view. After reading the carvings, I found out an abyss-level species named Baihai was locked behind the gate. It's a special type of receptor that can evolve by devouring cores. Looking at the gate in front of me, it felt like it was calling out to me. I took a deep breath. The heavy gate was slowly pushed open. In the darkness, a monster covered entirely in bones was standing right there. The next second, a weird countdown appeared right in front of me. At the same time, a blank piece of paper floated down. The moment I touched it, dense text flew over from all directions and filled the whole paper in the blink of an eye. Right after that, a voice spoke. By the time you read this letter, we're sorry we can't welcome you in person due to the previous prisoner riot here. Only prisoner number 1 is left now. I know this might sound inappropriate, but I still hope Baihai can be our gift to you, and I'm also sure you're the one Baihai has been waiting for all this time. You have to pass the test and bring all the escaped prisoners back. The moment you finish reading this letter, the doomsday countdown will start immediately. We'll be waiting for your return. My dear Warden. As the voice faded away, the numbers on the countdown started ticking. But right at that moment, a girl's sobbing could be heard, which forced me to wake up from the dream. I opened my eyes and saw Li Muan looking at me with tears all over her face. The second she saw me wake up, the light came back to her eyes right away. She quickly wiped her tears away. Thank God you're awake. Before I could even reply, she continued speaking. It was my fault last night. I failed to protect you. I pulled her into my arms before she finished talking. I had a million things I wanted to say, but I couldn't say a word for a moment. Li Muan didn't move at all. She just let me hold her quietly. After quite a while, I realized this was a little awkward. I slowly let go of Li Muan and saw that the little troublemaker who used to tease me was actually blushing. Then Li Muan blinked and looked at me.
Answer me honestly.
Did I die last night? As for this question, I couldn't answer it, because I still didn't know what had happened myself. Before I could say anything, the bedroom door was pushed open. You're up pretty early, kid. Then he looked at Lin Mu next to me with a dark face. It's not like he's dead. Was it necessary to stay by his bed all night? Guess daughters really do grow up and leave home. I learned from the following conversation that this shabby little house in front of us is where Li Muan and her master Qin Feng have lived for 15 years. Soon, Qin Feng sent Li Muan out on an errand. The second Li Muan left, the smile on Qin Feng's face vanished. Kid, you better explain clearly. What the hell are you? Facing his question, I felt pretty helpless. I really have no idea. I was hoping you could tell me what's going on. After all, you're the awakened one here. This is so fucking weird. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would never believe this kind of bullshit. Are you actually a fucking beast? I blew up right away when I heard that, though I hadn't seen many of them. I saw what beasts look like last night with my own eyes. How could I be that kind of monster? Wait, you did look like a beast last night. But after you turned back into a human, you don't have the scent of a beast on you anymore. That's what I can't fucking figure out. Then he took a few deep drags of his cigarette. He suddenly thought of something. Can you control that power? Transform for me right now. I thought he was being unreasonable as soon as he said that. Suddenly, ash from Qin Feng's cigarette fell on my crotch, which scared me so bad I jolted. Qin Feng was still confused about what exactly I was, and then he froze. Because I, who was standing just now, had already turned into a monster covered entirely in white bones. The floor couldn't handle the weight and cracked. All right, knock it off already. A few minutes later, Qin Feng paced back and forth in the room, frowning. Your situation isn't looking too good. The commotion last night definitely alerted a lot of organizations. Normally I should report this, but I've never seen anyone like you before. Hearing that, I came up with a bold idea. Since I can't avoid this, Uncle Qin, can you recommend me for the academy? Just tell them I'm an awakened with regeneration powers. Qin Feng was silent for a moment. Give me one reason I shouldn't turn you over to the organization. For your apprentice? Because I have a feeling if I die, she won't survive either. After a long while, Qin Feng laughed. You little rascal, you're really sneaky. His words made me feel a little guilty. To be fair, no matter how you look at it, this is basically blackmail. But I have no other choice. Neither does Li Muan. Soon Qin Feng seemed to figure it out. Ha! All for a girl I picked up. I've never been this cornered in my whole life. 2 hours later, I followed Qin Feng out the door, walking down the street. Cool gusts of wind blew past. It felt incredibly nice. But just then, someone called my name from behind. I turned around and saw it was Liu Ruyan. Oh, it's you. What's up? When Liu Ruyan saw me, She froze because she noticed that in just one day, the man in front of her had changed again. She had come to confront me, but suddenly started stuttering. Just then, Chin Feng next to me spoke up. Wow, who's this pretty lady? Did you make this girl mad? Come tell me, sis. I'll beat him up for you. Just when Liu Ruyan was about to ask to talk privately, the sound of brakes screeching came from behind. A sports car pulled over to the curb. A man walked up and put his arm around Liu Ruyan. Why didn't you wait for me by the road? But Liu Ruyan gently pushed Zhou Qin away. She didn't seem to want me to see her being affectionate with Zhou Qin. Brother Zhou, I haven't agreed to be with you yet. But Zhou Qin didn't care at all. He stepped forward and looked at me with a smile. Hey, Junior, it's been a few days. You've changed a lot. Then he pulled out a bank card. There's 500,000 wen in here. Leave Ruyan. Got it. Before I could say anything, Chin Feng snatched it right away. He was grinning so hard he could barely hold it back. Kid, hurry up and thank this rich guy. Uncle Chin, we can't take this. No, only an idiot would pass up free money. Only an idiot would pass up cash from some dumb, rich, spoiled brat like this. He's throwing money at us. Why the hell would we say no? Chin Feng's words had me bursting out laughing. Zhou Qin, on the other hand, was livid, his face turning dark with anger. You want to die? Liu Ruyan saw what was happening and spoke up to warn him, Brother Zhou, there are a lot of people around. Don't do anything rash. Shuken snorted coldly when he heard that. He glared at me viciously. Wait for me. You're dead meat. With that, he turned around and left. You little brat. Wait, no, take care, rich sir. Damn, this money is way too easy to make, he said as he handed me the card. I didn't take it. It's yours. Consider it a gift for joining the organization. 1 hour later, we finally arrived at our destination. When I saw the rundown small building in front of me, I was stunned, because Chin Feng said this was their base. The high-tech bat cave I had imagined. Only exists in movies, huh? A few minutes later, a man in his 30s walked out. Chin Feng walked up to him with a smile. Old Du, this is the kid I told you about. The man called Old Du had a stern look on his face. I'm Du Ziteng, vice president of the Night Watchers. Just then, Chin Feng whispered something in his ear. He just donated 500,000 yuan to us. Old Du perked up immediately after hearing that. He stretched out both hands. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Old Chin told me. You're an awakened from the regeneration class. I nodded. Yeah, after an infected person ripped out my heart. My body developed regeneration abilities. After a round of questioning, Du Ziteng stretched out his hand again. Welcome to the Night Watchers. Just then, the distant gate was pushed open. Li Muan ran towards me with pink cheeks, Xiao Qi. Why didn't you wait for me? See, Old Du, I told you this girl was dating. I took him with me, and she chased after us right away. After he said that, Li Muan's face turned even redder. She pouts with her head down. We're still in the supervision period. I can't leave him. Bullshit supervision. This kid is already one of us. Old Du, has he already joined us? Li Muan's eyes light up. She looks at Du Ziteng expectantly, and he gives a hum. I've already sent his information to the association. It's all fine today. You go back with him first. Hearing that, Li Muan happily takes my hand and walks toward the door. After I leave, inside the Night Watcher's office, Old Chin, you didn't kill that Vanguard class last night, did you? Chin Feng stays silent. He doesn't give an answer. Because the fighting style we found at the scene is not your style at all, even though the higher-ups didn't ask for the core. But I know for sure the core is on you. Chin Feng gives a dry laugh. My girl is all grown up. She needs more money for all kinds of things. Chin Feng can't tell the truth. Besides, that core has already been absorbed by that brat. Old Du adjusts his glasses. He lets out a sigh. Don't do this again. Hey, Old Du. I knew you were a damn good guy. After Chin Feng says that, he turns around to leave. Wait, Old Chin, we detected an Abyss class yesterday, and it's near where you killed the Star Peak class. I want to ask you, have you seen that Abyss class? Chin Feng is silent for a moment. Then he looks at Old Du with a silly grin. Cut the damn crap, will you? Like I'd ever run into that kind of thing. Silence, another long stretch of silence. Old Du furrows his brows tightly. Fine, but remember this. If anything happens, you have to tell me. You should trust me. Chin Feng looks at Old Du's serious expression. He is stunned for a long time. Then he nods with a smile and leaves. After Old Du watches Chin Feng leave, he picks up his phone and thinks for a long time. He finally makes a phone call. Walking out of the Night Watcher headquarters, I look down thinking about all the weird stuff that happened these 2 days. Infected that can take human form. A saint that crossed the spatial rift. And that weird countdown. Even that voice that keeps calling me in my head. All of these things, seemed to have some kind of connection to me somehow. Suddenly, Li Muan walking ahead turns to me with a smile. Close your eyes. I have a gift for you. Looking at her cute face, I nervously close my eyes. In a daze, I feel her getting closer and closer. I can even smell her faint body fragrance and hear her slightly nervous breathing. It makes my heart race a little. Is she gonna give me a kiss? But the next second, a lollipop popped into my mouth, shattering my fantasy. I open my eyes and see Li Muan's playful expression. Before I can say anything, she keeps talking. Even though I don't know exactly what happened, I know you saved me. I won't force you to tell me either. Thanks anyway. Then she keeps walking forward, looking at her back. I know I got pranked by this girl again, but then I notice she looks a little down. Why are you upset? It's nothing. Congratulations on joining the organization. The surveillance before is almost over anyway. I won't go to your house anymore. I'm stunned after hearing that. The smile on my face fades away. Li Muan lowers her head slightly. She walks past me looking disappointed. The next moment, I suddenly lift my head. I look at her with a serious expression. You can't leave. You said you're my girlfriend in front of so many people. If you leave all of a sudden, how am I supposed to explain that? Li Muan is stunned for a second after hearing that. I don't know. What do you want? You got us into this mess. You have to take full responsibility. How do you want me to take responsibility? I don't know, but you have to come home with me. Li Muan is silent for a moment. She looks at the ground with her cheeks bright red. But old Qin will never agree. Before she finishes, Qin Feng's voice comes from behind. Don't use me as an excuse. I can't wait for you to leave. Once you leave, I don't have to sleep on the couch anymore. Li Muan stomps her feet in anger at old Qin's words. Old Qin, you heartless jerk. I wash all your clothes for you. I'll buy a washing machine once you leave. You're still clinging to me at this age. Are you a giant baby or something? Hey you, take him away right now. Hearing that, I grabbed Li Muan's hand. Let's go. Head home for dinner. A moment later, Li Muan wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes. Then she made a face at old Qin behind her. Old Qin watched the two people's retreating backs and quietly gave a relieved smile. You just handed her over to that new fourth member. Are you even sure about that? Old Du appeared beside him out of nowhere. Old Qin didn't say a word. He just let out a long sigh and smiled as he looked at the sunset on the horizon. That night, I walked home carrying the barbecue I just bought. The thought of that girl at home, waiting and drooling for the food, made me pick up my pace. Just then, a car next to me rolled down its window. Liu Ruyan looked at the stuff in my hand, with a look of disdain in her eyes. Get in the car. I need to talk to you. When I saw who it was, I ignored her completely and walked even faster. Seeing that, Liu Ruyan got out of the car and chased after me. What do I have to do to make you go back to how you used to be? Liu Ruyan sounded a little confused. I stopped walking and looked at her when I heard that some things are gone once they're gone. Can you spare yourself and spare me at the same time? Don't ever show up in front of me again. Looking at the man who'd simped for her for years, and now seemed like a total stranger, a strong sense of loss washed over her. Don't be like this, okay? Yeah, I've been hanging out with Brother Zoe a lot lately. But I'm here looking for you now, aren't I? She tried to grab my hand as she spoke, when she noticed my build was different from before, and the faint bulge under my pants. Her face immediately flushed bright red. I quickly stepped back to avoid her. Are you deaf? I said I don't want to see you ever again. Liu Ruyan couldn't understand why the man in front of her was being so mean, but she still seemed to want to fix things. I know you're upset because I never let you touch me, so you're not willing to give up. But if you apologize to me right now, I can satisfy you tonight. Liu Ruyan looked at me pitifully. Her breathing was a little heavy, like she was expecting me to do something out of line to her. I frowned when I saw that. You're horny, huh? Go get horny somewhere else. I turned around and left right after saying that. Liu Ruyan watched my back as I left. An indescribable sense of emptiness rose in her chest. When I got home, I saw Li Muan stuck half under the bed. Her other half was wiggling non-stop. The sight made my blood rush straight to my head, but I tried my best to calm myself down. Master, what are you doing over there? Hearing that, Li Muan wiggled around as she spoke. Help me, I'm stuck. Let me out. I smell barbecue. Then will you dare rummage through my stuff again next time? I was just curious. I walked over to her and sat down on the bed. The bed dipped a little, making Li Muan struggle even harder. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Seeing that, I decided to grab her feet and pull her out. But the second I touched her ankle, Li Muan made a really weird noise. The room went dead silent immediately. Don't touch my feet. I realized Li Muan's sensitive spot was her feet. Then I moved my hand up a little and grabbed her thigh. What are you doing? Don't take advantage of me when I'm stuck. Li Muan's body trembled again, and her voice sounded all shy and flustered. Well, where else am I supposed to grab then? Suddenly I had an idea, stood up and lifted the bed up. I saw Li Muan stand up, her face covered in dust. Her cheeks were as red as a ripe tomato. She ran out of the room in a panic. I'm gonna go take a shower first. Soon after, Li Muan was back to her normal self after showering. We sat together and ate the barbecue happily. During our chat later, I found out Li Muan got infected when she was little, and only survived with the help of the Necromancer Guild. Awakened people are divided into different factions. For example, most members of the Apocalypse Guild have psychic abilities. The Necromancer Guild is made up of necromancy-type awakened people. The Night Watch group I'm in only has 5 people total. There's only one field agent I haven't met yet. It's the smallest organization right now in terms of head count. After that, she gave me a handmade calming talisman. I joked that it was a love token, which made the little girl's cheeks flush red again. 2 hours later, it was time for her to go to bed again. Looking at her sleeping so gracefully, I couldn't help but smile softly. Then I stood up and walked to the balcony, staring out at the quiet street. Suddenly, I wanted to test my power control. I took a deep breath and leaped down. The hard ground cracked into a huge crater, and that was after I held back my power. If I'd unleashed my full strength, off-white armor covered my whole body in an instant. Blue flames flickered in my eyes. Just standing there made the ground cave in again. I jumped with all my might. The next second, I was on top of a tall building. This feels so damn good. Then I kept jumping across the city, letting out excited roars every now and then. At the same time, on another rooftop, Xinfeng suddenly sensed something. He smiled and looked into the distance. You little brat, don't get caught by anyone. Then he vanished right where he stood. Of course, the aura I released also alerted the Awakeners hiding in the dark. Too bad the aura didn't last long. It was gone completely in no time. By now, I'd changed back to my normal form, sitting on the street zoning out. Xinfeng appeared next to me out of nowhere. You're such a troublemaker. I still can't control it properly. Sometimes I feel like I'm not myself anymore. Hearing that, the playful look in Xinfeng's eyes disappeared. He spoke very seriously instead. Starting tomorrow. Besides going to school, you'll start training with me to work on your power control. I nodded, staring blankly into the distance. One day, at an abandoned construction site, Xinfeng looked at the sunset-lit creature covered entirely in white bones, was standing there completely still. He got confused immediately. Did you get mind-controlled or what, dumbass? He walked up to take a closer look, then smacked me hard on the forehead. The sudden hit woke me up with a jolt. Oh, I fell asleep. You can fall asleep even while transformed? Are you kidding me? That's impressive. I scratched my head awkwardly. I guess suppressing my power made me tired. I nodded off without noticing. But compared to my body, my tail is a lot easier to control. Xinfeng stepped forward curiously to check it out. Were you born with this tail? No, it grew after I ate the core from the beast I fought before. Xinfeng's expression changed immediately, because as far as Xinfeng remembered, a black beast appeared during one beast tide. It also had the ability to devour its own kind to evolve. That time, if those old farts hadn't stepped in and knocked it back into the spatial rift, humans would have been wiped out by now. That unnamed beast was called the Scorner. Looking at his serious face, I asked curiously, how many beast tides have humans gone through in total? And how many times have we actually won? After I spoke, Xinfeng seemed to fall into memories. We've never actually won a beast tide. Every time a beast tide ends in history, they retreat back to the spatial rift and wait for the next attack. Then he looked at me seriously. If you are really a beast, will you help humans fight the beast tides? Early morning, I was carefully controlling my strength to brush my teeth, when the door was pushed open by messy-haired Li Muan. Oh, you're so slow every morning. So annoying, hurry up and get out. I need to take a shower. Isn't today the weekend? Why are you up so early? Ever since she moved in, I've had to sleep on the couch. Li Muan said she didn't mind at all. Sleeping in the same bed was no big deal. But when I thought about her graceful sleeping position, I turned her down anyway. Plus, this girl talks in her sleep at midnight. I can hear her even in the living room. It's so creepy. Didn't you say we're going to the movies today? Li Muan started taking off her clothes as she spoke. Hey, what are you doing? At least let me get out first. I grumbled and walked out of the bathroom. Half an hour later, inside the cinema, Li Muan was so scared she held onto my arm tightly, covering her eyes with one hand nervously, leaving only a tiny crack open. Looking at her current expression, I smiled satisfactorily, because I knew she'd be like this. So I bought 2 tickets for a horror movie. I whispered in her ear, "I'm going to the bathroom. Want to come with me?" Limuan grabbed my arm even tighter when she heard that. "Why would I go with you? You're a grown-up already." Seeing that, I got up and left right away. Right behind me, Limuan panicked and followed me out of the theater hall. When I walked into the bathroom, Limuan picked up her phone, only to find there was no signal. The already quiet hallway had gotten even more silent. A sense of unease kept growing out of control in Limuan's chest. Suddenly, a cold gust of wind blew past. Limuan immediately shivered all over. "Hey, are you done in there?" She tiptoed to the men's room door and called out softly. All that answered her was the howl of the wind. The scene right now was exactly like what we just saw in the movie. Right then, she suddenly had to pee really bad. She almost went into the men's room to find me, but after hesitating a second, she ran to the ladies' room instead. She snuck into a stall carefully, trying her best not to make a sound. Suddenly, that creepy voice from earlier started up again. At the same time, a dark shadow darted past. She was so scared she stopped breathing entirely. Funny enough, when she's up against infected, she's totally ruthless and decisive, but she's terrified of ghosts, monsters, and animals. Right at that moment, a cold, creepy voice spoke up. "Miss, are you done in there?" The sudden voice made her jump out of her skin. "Can I come in to clean the restroom?" The voice outside the door sounded much gentler this time. She opened the door and saw a hunched-over old lady. Holding a mop, Limuan relaxed a lot immediately. "Oh, sure. I'm done," she said as she hurried over to the sink. She'd almost cried out of fear just a second ago. If that guy next door heard that, it'd be so embarrassing. "Miss, you're really beautiful. I wish I could be just like you. I was really pretty when I was young, too. So why did I turn out like this?" the old lady said as she mopped the floor, and her tone was starting to sound really off. Limuan looked in the mirror and was shocked to see wisps of black smoke coming off the old lady's body. The next second, the old lady turned into a terrifying monster. "All you pretty women deserve to die." She opened her huge, bloody mouth as she spoke and lunged to bite Limuan's head off. "Is everyone evacuated? There's no time left. Captain, I'm afraid the whole theater is already." "Then treat everyone inside as infected." Suddenly, a girl in a theater uniform stumbled out in a panic. One of the team members stepped forward to calm her down, but the second he touched her, the panicked girl turned into an ugly monster. The team member had no time to react at all. The next second, a cold flash of light sliced through the air. The monster dropped dead on the spot. "Thank you, Captain." The team member was so scared he collapsed on the ground. "I told you to treat everyone as infected. Do you understand?" 1 minute later, several figures appeared in the theater lobby. The girl called Captain had a completely calm look on her face. "Dreadnoughts have arrived on site. Purge commencing." At the same time, I just finished using the restroom and was about to wash my hands when a rhythmic banging sound came from the stall next to me. Damn, that's wild. But right as I was about to leave, the stall door behind me slowly creaked open. A strong smell of blood filled the air. I saw a woman inside eating something. The woman seemed to notice I was there. She turned her head and gave me an evil smile. "Am I pretty, cutie? You keep going, I won't bother you," I said and turned to leave the restroom. The next second, the woman lunged straight at me. In the blink of an eye, a white tail stinger pierced right through her skull. I frowned as I stared at her lifeless body on the ground. Oh great, another infected. Why couldn't I sense its presence? I looked closer and found a thin blue thread attached to her body, leading all the way to the air vent. Before I could figure out what it was, I heard footsteps coming from the hallway. Hearing the sound, I quickly retracted my tail. Limuan pushed open the door. "Something's wrong here." Then she saw the scene behind me. "Oh no, did you get attacked too?" I nodded slightly and pointed at the corpse behind me. I was just about to leave when this thing jumped out at me, and then it died out of nowhere. When I saw the blood on Limuan's face, I immediately knew she'd run into one too. Limuan was curious when she heard that, but she didn't press for details. If there are infected here, the association should already be taking action. I just wonder which team they sent. Right at that moment, a black-haired girl walked over. Her cold gaze locked onto Limuan. "An awakened? You're Moyu from the Dreadnoughts, right?" Limuan recognized the person in front of her right away. Moyu didn't reply, just spat out a few words coldly. "State your organization and code name." "Nightseeker Reaper." Moyu's face softened a lot after hearing that. Then he looked at me behind Limuan. "He's also with the Nightseekers." "Yep, he's just like me." Both of us are Nightseekers members. But the second our eyes met, Moyu froze on the spot, like he saw something unbelievable. There was a long silence. A team member walked in and broke the silence. "Captain, the infected's corpse is gone." Moyu was slightly stunned, but quickly calmed down again. "Wipe out everything. Leave no survivors?" He left with the team member right after saying that. Then Lee Muwan and I also walked out of the bathroom. As soon as we got out, we saw a Dreadnought's member surrounded by 2 infected. The boy was so terrified he didn't know what to do. The 2 infected seemed to have had enough of toying with him and were ready to finish him off. The next second, a death scythe sliced through the air, cutting the 2 infected into several pieces. Lee Muwan looked at the boy, who almost peed his pants out of fear, frowned slightly and said, "Hey, how'd you even get into the Dreadnoughts with this level of strength?" While Lee Muwan was chatting with the boy, I quickly headed to the women's bathroom where Lee Muwan was just now, and finished off an infected with my tail. But what confused me was, none of the infected I encountered had a core. Also, every infected's body was connected by a blue thread. I headed back after I was done, and ran right into Lee Muwan, who was coming to look for me. I quickly explained that I just needed to pee badly. "You got a weak bladder or something. Cut it out, I was just super nervous, okay?" Though she was still a bit suspicious, Lee Muwan didn't say anything else, because she had said before she would never force me to do anything. As for the boy from earlier, he was still shaking nonstop with his eyes closed. He only slowly opened his eyes when we walked closer. When he saw me, he started wailing like he'd just seen his saviors. We learned from the following chat that the boy in front of us was the legitimate son of the Chu family, one of the financial backers of the Dreadnoughts, one of the 4 major organizations of the association. Chu He originally wanted to join the Night Seekers, but heard others say that Night Seekers are all a bunch of bums. So his family arranged for him to join the Dreadnoughts. After finding out we're Night Seekers, "Bro, sis, as long as you let me join, I'll do anything you want." "Who are you calling sis?" Lee Muwan said sharply, her cheeks turning slightly red. "But it's okay if you want to join. You just have to pay a monthly fee to the organization." Then she held up 5 fingers. "Only 500K? Come on, sis." "Why didn't you say that earlier?" "If you'd told me earlier, we'd be family already." Lee Muwan was stunned when she heard that. She was going to say 5K a month. Who knew this rich young master was so clueless? She was totally confused for a second. Then the 3 of us arrived outside a screening room. Lee Muwan peeked inside, then spread her hands helplessly and said, "Wow, they're all dead." Chu. He got a little angry when he heard that, even though it's to stop the spread. What the captain did is a bit too much. Moyu's methods are indeed pretty harsh, but it's the best way to stop the spread right now. Suddenly, I felt a hint of unease. I yanked Lee Muwan into my arms. The second she was pulled into my arms, she froze, and Chu, he next to her, froze too. "Bro, is this really the right time for this?" Right after he said that, the ceiling above suddenly collapsed. A monster that looked like it was made of many infected merged together, fell down from above. Lee Muwan looked at me with a scared expression. If we had been hit by that, the consequences would have been unthinkable. The monster seemed to notice the 3 of us in front of it, and started crawling quickly on the ground. Just as I was about to make a move, a flash of blade light cut through the air, and the monster was dismembered instantly. Moyu retracted his hand cleanly. Shuhei looked like he'd just seen a lifeline when he saw that. "Captain, you're finally here. Hey, we were just talking about him earlier. Now he's happier to see him than his own mom." Lee Muwan laughed loudly in my arms. When Moyu's gaze fell on the 2 of us, Lee Muwan realized our position was a little awkward. She pushed me away, her face bright red. Moyu looked at me with cold eyes. "Thank you for helping my team member. I'll take care of the rest. You can go hide in the storage room. Don't come out again." Lee Muwan was stunned when she heard that. "Us Night Seekers can help too. Let us help. I'm fully in charge of this operation. Please follow my orders." He turned around and left right after saying that. As he passed by me, he seemed to glance at me a few extra times. Lee Muwan looked at Moyu's back, a little angry. "That woman is so annoying." I casually pointed at the blue thread.
"Can you see it?"
Lee Muwan looked where my finger was pointing. She looked confused. I immediately realized only I could see this thread. I closed my eyes. I followed the thread with my senses to find its source. As I went deeper and deeper, my consciousness suddenly entered a realm of chaos. Suddenly a weird voice sounded. "This is my nest." "Get out!" I opened my eyes again. I looked at Lee Muwan and Chu, who next to me. These infected people must be controlled by something more powerful. As soon as I finished speaking, Lee Muwan visibly froze. She looked at me with a slightly pale face. "You mean?" I nodded slightly. "This place has already become a beast's nest, even though I knew she was scared. Facts are facts." But Chu, he reacted even worse than Lee Muwan. He plopped down on the ground. "A beast's nest. Damn it, why am I so unlucky? Li Muan tried to stay calm on the surface. I'm fine. From her tone, I could tell she was terrified inside. I looked at her seriously. I need you to do me a favor right now. Li Muan looked at me confused. Take Chuha to a safe area right now. I'll go find Mo Yu and tell her everything I know, so she can... No way, don't think I don't know what you're up to. Even though that night, I don't know how you killed that beast. Don't even think about leaving me behind. I knew Li Muan wasn't actually stupid, and she definitely knew I died that night. But she chose to stay silent and trust me this whole time, even though I felt guilty. Now wasn't the time to explain everything to her. Bro, she said you took down a beast. You gotta get me out of here alive, okay? Chuha obviously caught the key point. I ignored him and turned around to leave. But Li Muan grabbed my sleeve immediately. I've run away so many times before. But not anymore. Let's face this together. Looking at her determined gaze, I had no choice but to agree. We saw several bodies of dreadnoughts along the way. I knew we had to find Mo Yu as soon as possible. Otherwise, with the current infection rate, it'll get out of control really soon. But just as I was thinking, the wall next to us was smashed open by a fist. This sudden scene caught Li Muan completely off guard. But everything looked like slow motion to me. When I saw it was a DJ infected, I pretended to be hit and sent flying. After Li Muan quickly took down that infected, she went to look for where I'd been thrown. She searched the entire floor, but couldn't find me anywhere. At the same time, I was already on the top floor of the theater. A huge pile of corpses came into view. Countless blue threads were tangled within it. Just then, a long blade was pressed against my neck. I knew you were sketchy. Tell me your code name. I spread my hands helplessly. I just joined the academy. I don't have a code name yet. Then tell me your real name. Mo Yu obviously wasn't going to give up. I suddenly realized the way she looked at me earlier was off. Really off. Did she sense the beast aura on me? Speak! Mo Yu pressed the blade harder against my neck. Wang Lin. Mo Yu froze for a second when she heard the name. The blade on my neck trembled slightly. I suddenly lunged at Mo Yu and tackled her to the ground. She reacted quickly too, swinging her long blade immediately. But the target of her attack was the blue tentacle sticking out of the spatial crack behind us. As the tentacle was cut off, the beast inside the crack let out a weird laugh. Then a large number of corpses started slowly squirming. Mo Yu frowned tightly as she watched the scene in front of her. This is a Vanguard class codename Broodmother. It appeared during the last beast tide. It's also one of the most troublesome foes we have, because as long as it hides in the crack, it can control countless infected people and make itself stronger. Can't we go into the crack and kill it? Are you actually stupid or just pretending? Don't you know that any human who enters the crack will get infected and assimilated? I was silent for a moment. If it leaves the crack, can you kill it? Mao nodded. If it actually comes out, I can kill it in 1 second. Hearing that, I ran straight towards the pile of corpses. This move shocked Mo Yu quite a bit. Was just about to stop me when he was blocked out of the blue by an infected. After he took care of the infected, I was already nowhere to be seen. Right at this moment, a crack slowly opened up behind him. A creepy voice came out of the crack, like it was mocking him. You really think I can't do anything to you? Mo Yu slowly looked towards the crack. Then he took a deep breath and clenched the long knife in his hand tightly. But the moment he was about to strike, his pupils suddenly shrank, because right behind him, an even more powerful aura appeared. The insect man hiding in the crack also sensed the danger and made a wary sound. A monster completely covered in bones came into Mo Yu's sight. This is Yunji. The next second, the monster ran towards him. Mo Yu also adjusted his breathing and got ready to fight. But the monster seemed to have used too much force, stomped on the floor so hard it broke, and fell down. Holy shit! Mo Yu thought he heard wrong for a second. How come this monster is so flimsy? Bang! A loud crashing sound rang out. A huge pit was smashed into the floor. I saw the bone monster charge towards Chongwu. Chongwu knew he was no match for it, and hurried to close the crack. But the moment it was about to close, a pair of big hands covered in bones appeared at the edge of the crack, trying to tear the crack open with force. Mo Yu was totally confused all of a sudden. Wait, 2 hands. What the hell is this bone monster? After a while, half the body of a weird-looking creature was pulled out of the crack. Seeing the Zerg mother still struggling, I shoved one hand straight into its mouth, grabbed its jaw and yanked hard. Then, its whole body was slammed hard onto the floor. Then I looked at Mo Yu and didn't say a word. He seemed to get what I meant, without any hesitation. He swung the long knife in his hand. A cold flash went by, and the Zerg mother stopped breathing. After we finished all this, Moyu turned to look at the bone monster next to him, only to find it was long gone. Even that abyss-level aura had disappeared too. Everything was so creepy. When he looked back at the Zerg mother, he found its core was gone. Did that beast steal the core? Where the hell are you? Limuan looked around blankly, eyes empty, as if she was expecting a miracle to happen. Her pale face didn't have a single trace of color. Her whole body was shaking uncontrollably. Her fingers were constantly oozing blood, obviously from all the digging she did earlier. Suddenly, a pair of big hands clutching a safety amulet caught her attention. Intense fear washed over her instantly. Her eyes also started to glaze over. It took her quite a while to come back to her senses. She stumbled towards the direction of the big hands and knelt on the ground with a thud. She used all her strength like crazy, trying to dig the man under the rubble out. Heart-wrenching wails filled the air for a moment, mixed with the sound of rubble sliding down, kept echoing in the air. Scenes from the past popped up in her mind. Just tell me whatever you want to eat later. I'll close up shop just for you, yeah. Hey, what are you doing? Wait before you take a shower. Wait till I get out to take off your clothes, okay? Girl, do you know you drool when you sleep? You look so cute when you giggle in your sleep. Then you can stay at my house for the rest of your life, okay? Maybe she ran out of strength. Her digging speed started to slow down. She mumbled blankly, eyes empty. We still have so many things we haven't done together. I haven't had the chance to tell you yet. I like you. Please don't leave me, okay? The next second, that big hand slowly lifted up and gently wiped the tears off the corner of her eyes. Silly girl, how could I bear to leave you? Limuan was stunned for a second. After making sure she wasn't hearing things, she hurriedly grabbed those two big hands tightly. You're alive! Tears burst out of her eyes again. I climbed out of the rubble soon after. The reason I did this was to keep Limuan from getting suspicious. I purposely laid under the rubble before she arrived. Not just that. I even deliberately ripped open my own chest, leaving a huge gaping hole. That awful stinging feeling almost knocked me out. But this girl's true feelings just now still made me really satisfied. Right at this moment, Moyu walked over from behind. Where did you go just now? Playing cannon fodder, duh. Luckily, I'm a regenerator awakened. Moyu saw my unhealed wounds and frowned deeply. She was just about to speak when Qin Feng, who walked over, slowly cut her off. Well, if it isn't the Mo family's little girl. Haven't seen you for ages. Come on, give Uncle a hug. Hearing that, Moyu stepped back immediately. Qin Feng's codename is Priest. He belongs to the Night Watchers. Oh, why are you being so distant, kiddo? I even held you to pee when you were little. Muyu's face changed slightly and said nothing in response. No alerts were sent out from the scene. How did you even get here? Qin Feng pointed only at Limuan and me. Is it so wrong for a parent to check on their kids? With that, he turned around and left with Limuan and me. Seeing that, Moyu couldn't really say anything. She just stared blankly at my back, like she was lost in thought. The cleanup work wrapped up pretty quickly. Moyu was standing in the movie theater bathroom, staring blankly at the mirror in front of her. Are you really the person I used to know? Late at night, Qin Feng was sitting on the couch smiling. You little shit. You pulled out the core right in front of the dreadnought. You've got some real balls, you know. But don't underestimate Moyu. There's no way that girl didn't notice. I frowned when I heard that. Then why didn't she come find me? How the hell would I know? But I heard people don't really like how that girl does things. If you get the chance, recruit her over to our side. I ignored old Qin, who was messing around, and pulled that core out of my pocket instead. What do I do with this thing now? Old Qin took a deep breath. For the official rules, you can't keep cores privately. But I think this one might be useful for you. You're saying I should eat this? It's worth a shot. That's how you got your tail after all. As soon as he said that, I swallowed the core whole. Holy shit, you actually ate it? You okay? What's it taste like? Old Qin kept asking in my ear, but my body closed my eyes on its own. In a daze, I was back in the dream I've had for 15 years. I stepped into the darkness like I'd done 100 times. When I saw Baihai, I noticed his appearance seemed to have changed a little. The second our eyes met, a strange scene popped up in front of my eyes. Several Zero mainframes stood on the ruins. They'd already killed almost all the human awakened. A black beast was also floating in the sky. The sounds coming from its mouth sounded like the death knell for the whole world. Is this a prophecy? Before I could figure it out, Old Qin slapped me back to reality. You're finally awake. Man, being young is great. You can just pass out any time. Then I told Old Qin that after I swallowed the core, I gained the ability to control DJ, type infected people. Of course, I didn't say a word about that supposed doomsday prophecy vision. Qinfeng nodded after hearing that, but don't tell Muyu about this. She's not ready for it yet. I nodded slightly and didn't say anything. Old Qin stood on the balcony silent for a long time. Then he looked at me with a bitter smile and said, "Kid, if I kick the bucket one day, you take good care of Muyu for me, yeah?" I was a little stunned hearing that. Then I looked at Old Qin and smiled. "There's no way you'd die." Old Qin took another harsh drag of his cigarette, with a helpless look on his face, and slowly told me the past of the Leaf Seekers. 5 years ago, the Leaf Seekers had over 100 members, and were second only to the 4 major organizations. The reason we're like this now is because of a mission we did. The Night Watchers were tasked with holding off the Lord's lair in the center of the battlefield, waiting for other organizations to break through before we attacked together. Just when everything was going as planned, the central lair mutated, a black beast devoured the original lair, and the Lord started attacking everyone indiscriminately. This turned the situation where we were about to win into a complete one-sided rout, but the order we got was to keep holding on, to buy time for other awakened to retreat. All Night Watchers knew this was part of the job, but just when everyone was ready to die, the guild leader we all trusted completely ran away first. With his betrayal, the rest of us were like lambs to the slaughter. People ran or died left and right. The beast kept evolving and got stronger and stronger. So many teams were stuck there forever. Since then, the Night Watchers became a laughingstock for everyone else. It took Old Qin a while to snap out of his memories. He looked at me with a smile. "These debts are owed by us old folks. It's got nothing to do with the girl. Maybe one day, I'll have to pay off this debt too. Please take good care of the girl for me then." After training with Old Qin for so long these days, I've got pretty good control over my powers now. Also, I learned about the Night Walkers from Li Muang. They also hunt infected people and beasts, but they're not regulated by the association at all. That piqued my interest a little. Suddenly, Li Muan, who was in my arms, looked at me with a hint of expectation. "If I fail the assessment in a few days, let's elope together, okay?" My heart skipped a beat when I heard that. I was just about to say I'll protect you, when Li Muan's laughter cut me off. "I'm just teasing you, dummy." Looking at her cute face, I couldn't help but smile a little, and reached out to ruffle her hair. Honestly, whether I become an awakened or a Night Walker, my goal will never change. Recapture the 7 prime beasts that escaped from prison, and keep you safe no matter what. At the same time, Du Ziteng was lining up at a window, getting ready to submit new recruit documents. Even though he's the vice president, he doesn't get the respect he deserves. Because to other organizations, Night Watchers are all sinners. Letting them exist at all is already a huge mercy. Just then, a man walked straight up to Old Du. "You know what I'm here to say, right?" Old Du nodded. "I know. For this beast tide, Old Qin and I will be the vanguard to clear the path." The man sneered when he heard that. "Don't worry. You won't get a chance to run away this time." Then he leaned down slowly. "If you two actually manage to open a path, I'll keep my promise and let the Night Watchers keep operating. But is there really a point to keeping your little group alive?" Old Du stepped back calmly, neither humble nor pushy. "That's none of your business, sir." Vice Chairman, under the setting sun, I was carrying some meat and vegetables, walking through the noisy wet market, when a familiar figure walked toward me. The girl seemed to notice me too, but her gaze was still as cold as ever. I was just about to go say hi, when a pale-faced man in the crowd caught my attention. He was an infected person in the transition stage. Looking at his current condition, I thought he could still be saved, so I followed him. Right when he was about to get hit by a sports car, I grabbed his shoulder and pulled him back. I was going to take the man and leave right away, but that speeding sports car actually turned around and came back. When Zhou Qin got out of the car and saw it was me, he started yelling and insulting me nonstop. Lu Ruyan, who was with him, also tried to convince me to apologize. Just then, I sensed the man was about to lose control, so I immediately used my domination power to stop his transition. The next second, a loud bang came from behind me. I saw Mo Yu holding a dagger. She'd popped the sports car's tire. Zhou Qin was furious and was about to come over to yell at us. But when he saw Mo Yu's face clearly, he immediately swallowed the curses he was about to spit out. Liu Ruyan next to him was just about to open her mouth to scold us, when Zhou Qin slapped her across the face to shut her up. Miss Mo. "You're Master Zhou, right? I remember who you are." "Yes, Miss Mo. Thank you for the Mo family's favor. He's under my protection. Do you understand?" Mo Yu cut him off straight away, while pointing at me who was standing nearby. As soon as she said that, Zhou Qin immediately started apologizing to me. "I'm sorry, bro. It's all my fault. Please forgive me for my stupid mistake. I beg you spare me. What I didn't expect was this woman isn't just influential in the association. She's also a total big shot even to regular people. Before I could even react, Mo Yu grabbed me and dragged me away. After a while, Mo Yu stood in an alley looking at me. Spit it out. What exactly is your awakened power? How do you spot infected people even faster than me? I glanced at the man shivering in the corner. I don't know, okay. He just looked off. I wanted to help him, that's all. Mo Yu narrowed her eyes slightly. She clearly didn't buy it. Then tell me, how did you stop his transition? As soon as she said that, I started panicking like crazy inside. Are all women this perceptive? The next second, a dagger pressed against my waist. I thought there was something off about you last time. And now this infected person, you care to explain? I smiled helplessly. I already explained it just now. You said your power is regeneration. Then why do I get the feeling you seem more like a psychic type awakener, you know? She pushed the dagger a little further forward as she spoke. Miss Mo, we're both awakeners. There's no need to make things hard for me, right? Even if I hid something from you, I just didn't want to draw attention to myself. Besides, someone from the night patrol is my benefactor. I don't want to be bothered by other organizations. You get what I'm saying, right? Mu Yu frowned slightly. She obviously still wanted to get to the bottom of this. Suddenly, the dagger in her hand seemed to touch something. Something hard. What the hell? At the same time, I let out a shocked cry. Mu Yu looked a little confused. It's just the dagger hilt. Why are you yelling? She lowered her head to look at where the hilt touched. Her cheeks flushed red immediately. Pervert! How can you think of that stuff in this situation? Then she took a step back. Her eyes were cold, but mixed with a hint of shyness. That made me a little helpless. This is a normal reaction. After all, you were way too close to me. Mu Yu paused for a moment and got back to the earlier topic. As long as you're on the same side as humans, I won't make things hard for you. Then she dragged the man on the ground and turned to leave. But when she reached the alley entrance, she stopped in her tracks. Do you know about Qinfeng and Duziting? I was stunned when I heard that. Know about what? Mu Yu was silent for a moment. Nothing. Learn more skills from them while you can. When I came back to my senses, Mu Yu's figure was already long gone. Half an hour later, I smiled and looked at the man squatting at the door smoking. Old Chin, are you here to take a shit? Piss off, asshole. I've been waiting for you for ages. Where'd you go? Then I told him everything that just happened. Old Chin threw away his cigarette after listening. That girl is super strong. She wandered outside as a kid because of family conflicts. She wasn't taken back by her family until she was 7. But her family only cared about her talent. They treated her like a weapon to train. For some reason, I seem to remember when I was little. My family seemed to have taken in a homeless kid, but I thought it was a boy. It's been too long, I can't remember clearly. I just remember he loved following me around everywhere. Once he was chased by a stray dog. I even saved him with a wooden stick. He cried all day long. But he looked like a girl when he cried. What, you're daydreaming about that girl? Old Chin's words pulled me back to my senses. Stop joking. Come inside and sit? Nah, no need. It's that girl's birthday next week. I want you to come pick a gift with me tomorrow. Geez, you're so stingy. You only gave her a hairpin for her birthday, and she's worn it for so many years. After saying that, Old Chin smiled, his face a little red. That was the first gift I ever gave her. I didn't expect she'd kept it all this time. Why did you ask me to go with you? Come on, you young people know more about this stuff. Sure, my parents are coming tomorrow anyway. I need to buy some stuff too. Mu Wan will be there too by then. You can pretend to be my father-in-law tomorrow. Old Chin smiled when he heard that. Sure, I'll wear my best outfit tomorrow. Can't embarrass the girl. Then he left. Looking at Old Chin's back, I somehow felt he looked a little lonely at that moment. Like he was carrying too much on his shoulders. The hunt is about to begin. Ha ha ha, I jolted awake from my dream, only to find the girl holding a marker pen, sitting on me and grinning mischievously, probably because I opened my eyes so suddenly. The girl got a fright and started leaning backward. I saw that and wrapped an arm around her waist immediately. The next second, a faint blush appeared on the girl's cheeks. She blamed me shyly. Why did you wake up all of a sudden? You scared me half to death. I pretended to be serious and questioned her. Fess up? Were you trying to murder your husband? That made the girl's cheeks turn even redder. She avoided my eyes and mumbled softly. Meant nothing, I was just waking you up. I already knew what this girl was up to, honestly. I snatched the marker from her hand. Having fun, huh? What the hell did you do to me? Stop, I'm sorry, okay. I haven't even done anything yet. For a moment, the sound of playful fighting filled the room. Not long after, someone knocked on the door. Chuhi's voice came from outside. Bro, this room's sound insulation isn't very good. Are you and sister-in-law done yet? The assessment is starting. As soon as he said that, the room went dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. A few seconds later, Li Muan, cheeks flushed bright red, slowly opened the door. Looking at his figure, I couldn't help but curl my lips into a small smile. Thinking about everything that happened these days, the day after Old Chin left last time, I invited Li Muan and Old Chin to have dinner with my parents. When my parents met Li Muan, they were extremely warm to her. They almost adopted her as their daughter on the spot. Old Chin also dressed up in formal clothes. I heard the suit he wore was from his wedding. But Old Chin looked somewhat relieved after dinner, like he was entrusting Li Muan to me. I was then dragged away by Old Chin, and he took me to buy a new phone for Li Muan. But Old Chin seemed to be shy about it, and told me to give it to her when she passed the assessment. Old Chin also mentioned to me during that time that Mo Yu had investigated my past behind my back. That immediately made me wonder if he had ulterior motives. At the same time, Old Chin also gave me a week of special training. The training process was straight up brutal. That made me feel Old Chin seemed to have even more on his mind. Then 2 days ago, Li Muan and I took our first Awakener assessment. Though there were a few small incidents, we still passed without real danger. However, one thing worth mentioning is Mo Yu showed up at the exam site for no clear reason, and even helped me solve some tricky problems. Oh right, Chu-he, the guy we met at the cinema before, also showed up at the assessment, and helped with a lot of small things too. To stand up for Li Mu, I apparently offended some little guy, but none of that matters. The priority right now is passing the second round of assessment. At the instructor's order, all examinees rushed into the woods. The content of this assessment is to kill infected. All infected are captured and raised by the association. There are also accompanying instructors on site, so the examinee's safety is mostly guaranteed. Half an hour later, as one infected fell to the ground, Li Muan looked at me with confusion. How did you know where the infected are? Faced with her confusion, I couldn't exactly tell her it's because of my evolved abilities, right? So I just gave her a vague answer. But at our current progress, we'll definitely meet the assessment standard soon. Watching the girl look so happy, I felt more and more uneasy in my heart. Because ever since we entered the exam site, I've been feeling an invisible pressure, and this power is getting stronger and stronger. No one else seems to notice it at all. Suddenly I sensed something wrong. I whipped around and yelled at Li Muan to retreat. Though she was confused, she still stopped attacking the infected in front of her. Before I could answer her, the infected ahead started acting abnormally. That BG's power suddenly rose in the blink of an eye to no less than that of the Vanguard class that killed both Li Muan and me before. After I punched and killed that infected, I took Li Muan and ran towards the exam site camp. Along the way, feeling more and more abnormal changes around and constant screams coming from the entire exam site. I bet many examinees have already met with misfortune. At the Awakener Association at the same time, everyone learned a terrifying piece of news. The beast horde came early. In the main hall, a man frowned and looked at the staff next to him. Hey, tell Mo Yu from the Dreadnought unit to support the exam site immediately. Before the staff could do anything, the next second, a woman in white sitting on the high seat suddenly opened her eyes. A hint of panic showed in her eyes. As she lifted her palm, everyone in the hall held their breath. Maybe we don't have that much time left. The moment she finished speaking, everyone felt a terrifying aura spreading above their heads. Right now, Old Chin is sitting at a noodle shop eating noodles. Boss, add more chili, please? Those two always take more chili than noodles every time they come. I'm losing so much money I'm going crazy. Though the boss was grumbling, he still put the chili in front of Old Chin. Your girl is in college now, right? Can you still afford the expenses? When Old Chin heard the word girl, he couldn't hold back his smile. It's okay, not that difficult. Don't push yourself too hard. If you can't handle it, just tell the neighbors. It's been so many years, you should take a break already. Actually, without anyone noticing, Old Chin has long treated Li Muan as his own daughter. Though they didn't have a rich life, he never treated her badly. She's obviously most scared of interacting with people, but always forces herself to fit in with crowds. A kid like that, how could he bear to let go and take a break? But the figure of a brat quickly popped up in his mind. A faint smile tugged at the corner of his mouth at the same time. Almost there, almost there. Old Chin, if the heavens have eyes, they'd get you a partner for your old age. Old Chin just smiled and didn't reply. Seeing that, the shop owner walked to the shop entrance and looked off into the distant sky. Old Chin, Looks like you're really gonna get lucky in love. Damn, the heavens finally have fucking eyes. That line made Old Chin freeze instantly. He trembled violently all over, as if he sensed something terrifying. When the noodle shop owner turned around, the spot where the man had been eating noodles only had a half-eaten bowl of noodles left, and some scattered coins. Meanwhile, Old Chin, who was hurrying down the street, got a phone call. Hello, this is Chin speaking. The Wind Beast Tide is here. You and Old Do need to keep your promise. The vice chairman's voice came from the other end of the line. Old Chin took a deep breath. Bloodfolk. Priest, you have your orders. Right as he hung up the phone, a somewhat thin silhouette appeared in front of him. Old Chin, I'm still saying the same thing. I hope you can stay, whether it's Muwan or Xiaosa. They all need you. Old Chin waved his hand and smiled. Aren't we still having Yunluo here? His mission should be almost done. It's time we wipe out all the debts we owe once and for all. Old Do replied with a smile too. All right, let's two old farts fight one more time. Night Watcher Priest. The final leader of Flame Dragon. Under the setting sun, two thin silhouettes walked down the street. They looked lonely but also great at the same time. Meanwhile, in the exam hall, the original assessment had turned into a living hell. Examinees were running for their lives everywhere. I frowned and looked at the crack opening up in the sky. The Beast Tide was supposed to come in a month, right? Why is it early? Chuho was beside me, shaking like a leaf from fear, and plopped down on the ground. Mo Yu's face was still as cold as ice. She stared coldly at the sky. Suddenly, her communication device crackled to life. Kusun, your team is in charge of holding back the East Crack. Copy that, Kusun is in position. I'm the only dreadnought on site. I'll take care of the East Crack and the Lord. Don't do anything stupid. Just stall as long as you can. Reinforcements are already on the way. After hanging up on the dreadnought, another order from the association came through the earpiece. The next second, Mo Yu froze. There was even a hint of anger in her eyes. At the same time, all the instructors present received the order, but they were obviously very confused by it. Soon the instructors started carrying out the order. They selected a group of examinees and escorted them away. They told the remaining examinees they were taking a special assessment. Anyone with half a brain knew. The ones left behind were definitely not talented enough. The crowd immediately erupted in chaos and started protesting. Ling Mu beside me looked at me, trembling slightly. I'll protect you. Don't worry. I looked at the girl's red, teary eyes in front of me and her shaking body and slowly pulled her into my arms. Okay, but you have to stay right by my side no matter what. Got it? Li Muwan's shivers, thanks to my hug, seemed to calm down a little. Right then, the instructor who gave me my first assessment looked over at me. You take your little girlfriend and get in the car. Another instructor nearby heard that and frowned slightly. Daolang, he's not on the list. The list for people going to Taoyang. I tested him myself. He's stronger than anyone else here. As soon as he said that, the crowd erupted in even louder protests than before. Seeing this, Daolang frowned. You all fucking came to this assessment. Aren't you here to fight the Beast Tide? Now that the Beast Tide is here, every single one of you wants to run away. Besides, we instructors will stick it out with all of you. Whoever the fuck runs, I'll chop their head off first. Daolang's words were pretty rough, but they made sense. I heard about this evacuation plan from Old Chin before, but with how fast the crack is expanding right now, there's no time to evacuate at all. I turned to Daolang with a smile. Brother Dao, she and I are staying. We savages. Ain't no deserters here. The entire Jiangling city is now shrouded in a barrier. But this situation didn't last for long. The next second, countless beasts poured out of the rifts all at once, just like a waterfall cascading down. The moment the beasts from each rift hit the ground, they were cut down by an iron cavalry troop. A tall man on horseback held a long spear in his hand. He stared at the beast horde below the rift, his gaze icy as he ordered kill. The next moment, thousands of elites from the cavalry hunting regiment charged towards the beast horde under the rift. The moment the two sides clashed, countless broken limbs flew into the air. Equally brutal battles were also unfolding in multiple parts of the city. The God Hunters in the west of the city, the Iron Blood Troop in the north, and the Fearless Fort in the east. The area hit hardest by the Beast Horde is the Central District. This is also the core area of the Beast Horde attack. It's also where the strongest Lord Legion is stationed. In previous Beast Horde attacks, humans had fought head-on against the core lords. But except for the garrison led by Lu Ren, hardly anyone else could match their strength. But this time is completely different. Old Chin, who was standing in the field, looked at the Lord's nest in the Central District with a smile, slowly tossed away the half-burned cigarette in his hand. Old Do, This might be the last time we two brothers fight side by side. Hearing this, old Du adjusted his glasses with a smile. Let's go, old Chin. For the future of the next generation. Endless blood rain poured down recklessly from the sky. Mist, rain, and war flames spread wildly across the entire city. The ground was littered with countless broken walls and severed limbs, along with blood that you couldn't tell belonged to friend or foe, was slowly flowing. Countless soldiers, to protect their home, sleep here forever. Yet this is only the start of the Great War. Above the city, 5 continuously expanding giant craters were constantly spewing out a huge number of enemies, as if they wanted to swallow the whole world. Faced with this apocalyptic, terrifying scene, all the soldiers fighting on the front line, not a single one backed down, even when their comrades around them fell one after another. Their eyes were full of resolve and determination. At the most dangerous Lord's Nest in the center of the city, 2 figures fighting their hardest at the front line looked so fragile and alone. Old Du had taken off his glasses by now. He was no longer that scholarly man. He was also no longer the Chinese teacher from number 2 middle school. He was a night watchman, codenamed Flame Dragon, a tier 6 fire type awakened. Looking at the increasing number of beasts around him, he slowly raised both his hands. As soon as he finished speaking, a fire dragon rose into the sky and charged towards the beast horde. The moment it made contact, countless beasts were burned to ashes. It looked like a gap was about to be opened. 3 Vanguard-class giant beasts poured out of the rift, blocking the way immediately. Old Chin let out a cold snort. He looked at Old Lu. Old Rule, the small ones are yours. The big ones are mine. After saying that, he gripped the gun in his hand. His entire expression changed in that instant. This first shot is fired for you. As soon as the words left his mouth, a bullet pierced through a giant beast's head. It didn't even have time to roar. The next moment, another giant beast charged at Old Chin. The moment it was about to hit him, the second shot is the last words for the dead. The bullet went straight through the giant beast's chest, right as the giant beast fell to the ground. A black spear shot out rapidly from the rift. Even though Old Chin reacted immediately, the black spear still left a serious wound. On his shoulder, he ignored the injury and continued to raise his gun, aiming at the last Vanguard-class beast. Third shot. For the suffering of the martyrs. The black bullet cut through the sky. The giant beast fell to the ground immediately. Suddenly, the area grazed by the black spear just now stung sharply. He turned his head to look and found that black qi was emitting from his shoulder. This is the mark of the Demon Lord. At the same time, the vice president was monitoring every battlefield. When he saw Old Chin and Old Du, he let out a cold sneer. These 2 old farts really can fight. The woman in white next to him frowned upon hearing this, since they've broken through the beast horde. Why don't we send reinforcements? The vice president looked full of disdain after hearing this. This is the sin the night watchmen have to atone for. This made the woman in white frown even deeper. Is it their sin? Or is it your own selfish desire? You don't have to worry, actually. We've already made preparations to send our strongest combat forces and the future seeds to leave this city at any time. As soon as he said this, a hint of anger rose in the white-clad woman's eyes. Are you saying that the association never planned to defend this city at all? The vice president let out a cold snort. If we were fully prepared, we would definitely go all out. Take the Wuwang Mountain exam site right now, for example. It was originally supposed to be guarded by the dreadnoughts, but now there's only a bunch of new recruits and 1 captain left. How do you expect them to hold it? The white-clad woman didn't respond. Her frown deepened even more. The Apocalypse Association messed up this prediction, caught us completely off guard. If we can't hold the line this time, you guys will take full responsibility. The white-clad woman's eyes were filled with disappointment. The Apocalypse Association will never shirk responsibility, and we will never abandon any city or any of its people. Then she turned around and left. The vice president, on the other hand, watched like it was a show. Kept watching the fight between Old Chin and Old Gu. You'll never be able to pay off your debts. Once you're all dead, I'll make sure that the organization you fought so hard to protect ceases to exist. Wuwang Mountain looked like hell on earth at this moment. A lot of examinees and instructors have already fallen. The remaining instructors in Mo Yu were clearing the path up front. They decided to head to the peak to kill the Wuwang Mountain Lord. I was carrying the unresponsive Ling on my back at the end. I came along and I know perfectly well. This lord is way stronger than that guy Chu. Even though Mo Yu is a tier 5 awakened, there's no way he can kill the lord alone. If I transform into Bai Hui, my real identity will be exposed. Suddenly, I thought of a compromise. I turned to look at Dao Lang next to me. Brother Dao, take good care of them. Dao Lang didn't ask what I was going to do. He just smiled. Go do whatever you need to do. Want me to take care of the girl on your back? No need, she has to stay with me. What are you standing around for? Hurry up and do what you need to. I hesitated for a moment. I looked at Dao Lang with a smile. I'll help Mo Yu kill that spirit lord. Dao Lang was a little stunned when he heard that. When he looked back, I was already gone. What an amazing kid. Mo Yu was pretty worn out from fighting for so long. He looked a little fatigued. The peak was right in front of him. Mo Yu couldn't stop. It's not just for this city. It's more because he's right here. I can't let these bastards hurt even a single strand of his hair. A sharp spike came flying straight at him. Mo Yu shattered it with one slash of his sword, but the force was so strong that he spat out a mouthful of blood. I can't fall here. Then he looked up at the Lord on the peak. His eyes were ice cold. There's still time. I will definitely kill you. Protect her. Suddenly, he noticed it was too quiet behind him. He turned around abruptly, only to find that some of the instructors and examinees that were following behind had all turned into cold corpses. What broke him the most was the familiar-looking and completely shattered figure. Mo Yu's breathing started to get ragged. His whole body was shaking uncontrollably. That childhood scene kept replaying in his head. I will come back for you, brother. For a moment, two extreme emotions, wanting to live and wanting to die, warred in his heart. He didn't even notice the beasts constantly appearing around him. After a while, he slowly closed his eyes. Forget it, let it end like this. The next second, a voice hit him right in the heart. Don't fall for it. This thing can make people hallucinate. He opened his eyes and saw me carrying Lin Wan, easily kill an elite-level beast. His eyes were filled with tears at this moment. Hope gradually ignited in his heart. You're alive, stop standing there stunned. I'll cover you. Hurry up to the mountain. After saying that, I took out another Vanguard-level beast. The peak. That huge figure seemed to be stimulated by something. It was staring right at me. Mo Yu took a deep breath. He nodded, raised his knife, and charged towards the peak. As time passed, more and more beasts blocked the way. Seeing this, I stretched out a hand towards Mo Yu. Grab my hand, I'll help you. The next second, I flung Mo Yu straight towards the peak. Mo Yu quickly adjusted his posture. He reached the peak in the blink of an eye. Mo Yu held his breath and focused. He took the chance to slash at the Lord with his knife. But before the blade could even touch him, he was blocked by an energy shield. He was sent flying back into midair. Seeing this, I jumped up. I'll help you break its barrier. Mo Yu trusted me immediately when he heard that. He dropped the long knife in his hand. Then the next instant, a long knife formed from red energy, gradually took shape in his hand. I clenched my fist, regulated my breathing, hoped this punch wouldn't backfire on me. Then I reminded the spirit creature on my back. Hold on tight, kiddo. I flashed forward, right in front of the Lord. We stared at each other and a sound was filled with confusion towards me and anger at being betrayed by his own kind. What shocked me, though, was, after hearing it, a twinge of heartache actually rose in my chest, as if the person in front of me wasn't an enemy, but a former compatriot of mine. I shook off the thought in a second and threw a hard punch. Wuwang Mountain was crumbling apart. Too bad the barrier didn't shatter. But Wuwang Mountain obviously couldn't take another hit like that, or none of the survivors would make it out alive. Next second, white bone armor covered both my hands instantly. I used all my strength to tear the cracked barrier. The Lord seemed to sense the danger too, and grew more and more manic. Countless monsters poured out from behind him. Suddenly, the girl holding onto me from behind let go. A scythe appeared in her hand. I will never let you lay a finger on him. Lin Wan's voice was filled with fear. But even so, she was ready to fight to the death to block them. Next second, I pulled the barrier as hard as I could to both sides. The bone armor on both my arms was fully exposed. It shattered, and the girl behind me collapsed to the ground. A group of enhanced beasts and infected people also arrived right in front of us. Just as they were about to reach Lin Wan, a skeletal, long tail flung all the monsters away. After doing that, I looked up at Mo Yu in the air, and Mo Yu also looked at me as if he sensed something. That gaze belonged to the skeletal giant from the cinema that day. Daoshu didn't think further. He gripped the red long blade in his hand tightly, took a deep breath, lowered the blade to break the barrier. He swung the blade down, The Spirit Lord's body and the mountain peak let out a final mournful cry at the same time. The unwilling roar echoed over the entire city. For a moment, the Fire God fighters and the Iron Blood Regiment all cast their gazes in the direction of Wuwang Mountain. We've waited so long for this first win. All soldiers follow me to charge. At the same time, impossible, said the command staff. Wuwang Mountain only has a bunch of useless trash, right? Could Mo Yu really do this all alone? The vice chairman stared at Wuwang Mountain in disbelief. At the closing crack, the others got a little angry hearing that. Not only was he not cheering, why did he look so furious? Vice chairman, other organizations have also started fighting the Lord. Send support to the core area right now. Maybe we can actually win this time. Hearing that, the vice chairman seemed to think of something. Right. Those 2 night watchmen should be dead by now, right? If the core area falls, how can we fight? The chief of staff snorted. According to you, Qing Feng and Du Zitang are not only alive, they even opened up a path. Hearing this, the vice chairman collapsed into his chair at once. No way, all night watchmen must die. Otherwise, I won't be able to avenge my son. Wait a little longer since they're so capable. Let them hold the line a bit more. The chief of staff was very confused. How someone like this could become vice chairman? How could any normal person make such a dumbass decision? If the chairman hadn't gone missing, how would this idiot be in charge? The moment he walked out of the room, he found a woman in white had been waiting for a long time. Please send the troops. The chief of staff took out a token as he spoke. This is the Heavenly Edict token from the association headquarters. Please send support immediately. To defeat the core lord in one strike. Understood, Lord Xingxi. At this moment in the core area, the originally endless beast horde had been mostly wiped out by Old Qin and his companion. Old Du was trembling so hard he could barely stand. Blood kept dripping from the corner of his mouth. Old Qin dragged his broken body to Old Du. Go! Rest for a damn minute, will you? No. I'll clear the path for you. Old Du's eyes were so clouded he could barely see, even though he had a powerful awakening ability. This ability came at the cost of burning his own life. Not to mention he had a congenital illness. Old Qin patted Old Du with his only remaining hand. Old buddy, we've reached the end of the line. Leave the rest to me. Then he slowly straightened up and looked ahead. At the mountain-sized giant black hand, Old Du tried to reach out and grab Old Qin, but he didn't even have the strength to move a finger right now. Old Qin, what are you doing? We said we'd do this together. Xinfeng ignored Old Du completely, took a deep breath, calmed his breathing, limping badly, walked slowly toward the core lord. Old Qin. You won't make it back alive. Old Du. Stay alive. Old Qin. I'm going. His Majesty's already at peace now. The war between awakened ones and beasts has gone on for thousands of years. Every once in a while, a disaster called the beast tide strikes. Countless beasts pour out of the rifts, blotting out the sky. They launch brutal, inhuman attacks on humans. When the attack ends, they retreat back into the rifts to wait for their next chance to attack. Now the beast tide has come again. Humans must once again fight to protect their home. But our hearts and breaths went still with fear after hours of brutal fighting. The beast tide lord at Hopeless Mountain has been killed. This immediately boosted the morale of all the other soldiers in the city. But compared to the fights in other areas, the fight in the core zone is going terribly. Because there are only 2 people holding on for dear life here. What's more, these 2 are seen as criminals by every other awakened. Though the smaller beasts have already been cleared out, the single most powerful lord remains on the battlefield. The core lord stared at the 2 tiny humans in front of him. The look on his face was clearly mocking their uselessness. After hours of fighting, Qin Feng dragged his badly injured body forward, slowly walking toward the core lord. Old Du, who was already physically disabled, had used his powers at the cost of burning his own life force, and was now paralyzed on the ground, unable to move. Suddenly, Old Qin noticed the collapsing Hopeless Mountain. He thought for a second, then smiled, turned to speak to Old Du behind him. Old Du, promise me, no matter what happens, you have to keep that kid safe. Old Du was confused. Shouldn't I be looking after Muan? Why the kid instead? But Old Qin didn't give him a chance to ask any more questions. He slowly pulled 6 bullets out of his clothes. These were the black bullets Old Qin had been feeding with his soul all this time. Strange runes glowed on their surface. This immediately piqued the core lord's interest. Beasts evolve through mimicry, basically. They love copying powerful awakened ones. because it lets them evolve way faster. Oh, you little shits like learning stuff, huh? Too bad I'm a terrible teacher. As he loaded the bullets into the gun, a faint, bitter smile spread across Old Chin's face. There are some things you animals will never ever be able to learn. He then pointed the gun straight at the Core Lord. Please grant me your strength, so I can hold fast to my faith in the dark, and never lose my way. May your mercy last for all eternity. May this final prayer bring the lost lambs back to the flock. May they find their way home. As soon as he finished speaking, the Core Lord sensed something was wrong. He raised his hand, ready to crush the little ant in front of him. At the same time, the other rifts in the sky started to close slowly. All the soldiers rushed toward the core zone as fast as they could. When they got to the scene, what they saw in front of them was something they would never forget for the rest of their lives. Old Dew was collapsed weakly on top of the rubble, and the guy everyone looked down on all the time was now standing face to face with the Core Lord all alone. Old Chin! When Li Muan saw this scene, she was so scared she collapsed to the ground, tears pooling in her eyes. The crowd that should have jumped in to help didn't move a muscle at first. They just stood off to the side and watched, all because they were night watchers. Old Chin then started his attack. Bullets flew out of the gun. 2 shots hit the Lord right in the head, one after another, but they only made loud banging noises and didn't actually hurt the Lord at all. This made the already wary Lord relax completely, a mocking smile appearing on his face. When he fired the 3rd shot, the giant Core Lord froze mid-movement. Old Chin lifted his chin proudly and stared at the giant core. Lord, does that hurt? Don't rush. I'm gonna show you what humans can get when they give everything they have. As soon as he said that, around Old Chin, huge amounts of energy started to gather. The air around him grew heavy and oppressive. The clouds in the sky started to churn, shifting shape constantly. At that moment, Old Chin's power started to transform completely. A ray of light broke through the dark sky and landed right on Old Chin's body. This 3rd shot is called the Martyr's Tribulation. This 4th shot is called the Victim's Falling Boulder. It blew the Core Lord's shoulder to pieces instantly. The 5th shot is called Horn of the Apocalypse. This shot almost blew the barrel apart, but what came out of the muzzle wasn't a bullet anymore. It was a meteor wrapped in white flames. It let out a deafening wail. At this moment, the Core Lord lost his previous playful look. His eyes were filled with nothing but panic and despair. He turned around and tried to run towards the rift. This scene made everyone present absolutely stunned. What was happening right in front of them had completely overturned their understanding. They never could have dreamed that the widely condemned Night Seeker could pull off something this incredible. You've trampled on our world and our dignity. You've taken so many lives. Do you really think you can go back? Old Chin roared at the fleeing figure of the giant beast. He raised his tattered, broken arm again. This is the final blow. Old Chin's body was trembling non-stop right now. Blood kept pouring out of his nose and mouth. He could barely see anything with his eyes. Old Chin! Li Muan's heart-wrenching shout came from behind. At this moment, all the memories of Li Muan flooded Old Chin's mind. The pitiful little kid he found in the ruins. To the first time he taught her to read. The first time he taught her to cook. The first time he taught her to hide her emotions. The first time he taught her to fit in with crowds. There were way too many firsts for him to teach her. Before he even realized it, this girl had become the light in his life. How he wished he could watch her grow up. How he wished he could see her get married and have kids. But debts always have to be paid back eventually. Right now, Old Chin was going to give the girl one final lesson. Even if the whole world condemns you, always keep your heart facing the light. If the sky feels too heavy and suffocating, Daddy will break through this gloom for you. Keep moving forward. My child. This final shot is called Redemption. The white bullet carried his longing for life and his love for his daughter. It lit up the entire dark night sky. As the final shot was fired, Old Chin's only remaining arm turned to dust. Old Chin felt like he saw his handsome younger self. And that little kid from the ruins. I really want to hear her call me Dad just once. White light bloomed across the entire ruins. It soon engulfed the Core Lord's entire body. All the rifts in the sky slowly started to close. At this moment, everyone realized, after 40 years, they had finally won. Everyone was caught up in the joy of winning the great battle. When I arrived at the scene and saw what was happening, I noticed everyone was cheering and celebrating, except for the person who made the miracle happen. No one even mentioned him at all. Old Chin was already on his knees on the ground. Blood was constantly pouring out of his body. Cold gusts of wind blew by, making his already lonely figure look even more desolate. Li Muan walked shakily towards Old Chin, then slowly knelt down in front of him. She gently stroked his hair that had turned white from the battle. Her voice was shaking with held-back sobs. "How did you get yourself into such a state?" Xiaoyu couldn't hold it back anymore. Tears gushed out like a spring. Then she hugged Old Chin and cried her heart out. Old Chin's voice was pale and weak as he said "girl." He couldn't see anything at all with his eyes. He forced a bitter smile, while coughing up blood non-stop. Was I awesome just now? Every time he said a word, blood kept pouring out of his mouth. His hand was groping around in the air. Li Muan held Old Chin's face to face her. "You were so awesome, the most awesome ever." "Stop talking, I'll definitely get you healed." "All right, Old 7. This time it's your turn to take care of me." "You idiot! Why did you have to play the hero?" Li Muan was already completely soaked in tears by now. Her whole body was shaking uncontrollably. This was a stark contrast to the cheering crowd around them. "Because I still want to watch you grow up. See you get married and have children. I want to hold my grandkid." This scene made my heart feel really heavy, but at least Old Chin would survive. Even if he can't fight anymore in the future, he can at least stay by her side and watch her grow like a father. Just as I was thinking about handing Old Chin the gift he bought, so he could give it to Li Muan himself, I suddenly detected a faint, almost undetectable aura. I slowly looked up, towards the rift in the sky that still hadn't disappeared. Suddenly, a tear-like drop fell from the rift. The moment it touched the ground, it took the shape of a human. Then it slowly lifted its foot and walked towards Old Chin and Li Muan, but it seemed like I was the only one who noticed all this. No, in an instant, I realized what was going on. I jerked my head up and yelled in Li Muan's direction, "Get out of here fast." Right as I was mid-sentence, the dark figure had already launched an attack. Old Chin seemed to sense something off. He had no strength left at all just now, but suddenly burst out with incredible power and violently shoved Li Muan in front of him away. Right at that very moment, a blade glint sliced across Old Chin's neck. It was just a casual swing. The dark figure didn't even look back and walked towards the cheering crowd. Old Chin froze completely, then seemed to realize what had happened. Blood started trickling out of his nose and mouth. Even though Old Du couldn't see anything, he also sensed that something was wrong. Old Chin could no longer feel his hands, but he didn't need to touch to know that on his neck, there was a bloody cut slowly showing up. Then blood gushed out violently right away. He tried so hard to turn his head, hoping to use his cloudy eyes to take one last look at that kid, but sadly, he never got the chance. When Li Muan came to her senses, her pupils shrank suddenly. Old Chin's head fell to the ground. "Girl." "Happy birthday." His voice carried helplessness and reluctance. Old Chin's life came to an abrupt end right then, and his birthday ended up being his last day. When the dark figure walked into the crowd, 2 cavalry soldiers finally noticed it. They looked completely unconcerned and took it for a leftover rogue beast. But the moment they got close to it, the dark figure just swung its blade casually. Both cavalrymen and their horses fell to the ground instantly. This whole scene made the rest of the people realize how bad the situation was. The leading Iron Blood general took a close look, only to realize that this thing is the real Core Lord. The leaders of the God Hunters and Cavalry Hunting Regiment both frowned deeply, because in front of this creature, unless you're a level 6 Awakener, no matter how many people come, it can kill them all with one slash. The dark figure charged into the crowd. In just a few seconds, hundreds of cavalry soldiers and their commanders all died tragically. Everyone present at the scene was scared out of their wits by this sight. That's the real Core Lord. I watched that monster cut off Old Chin's head with my own eyes, without a single moment of hesitation, like it was just kicking a small stone by the roadside. An unprecedented rage suddenly rose in my heart, and it was burning hotter and hotter. The monster was still slaughtering people in the crowd. Against an enemy this powerful, humans have zero chance of winning at all. We can't hold this city anymore. Suddenly, the words Old Chin once said echoed in my mind. If you really are a beast, will you help humans fight against the beast tide? I didn't answer that question before, but I have the answer now. After Lao Shi said this, he turned around and walked towards the empty ruins. Where are you going? Mo Yu looked at my back and asked with concern in her voice. I didn't answer her, and didn't turn around either. Come back alive. Moyu seemed to realize what I was going to do, and didn't ask any more questions. I tried my best to block out the screams behind me, and kept recalling every little thing about Old Chin. Finally, my memory stopped at the scene where Old Chin handed me his phone. "Give this to the girl. Wish her a happy 18th birthday." These words completely ignited the rage in my heart. "You bunch of bastards? Do you even have a clue what you just destroyed?" The next second, my figure disappeared into the ruins. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, a huge number of humans had already fallen. The Ironblood Regiment and God Hunters all retreated in fear. The monster was very smart. It knew exactly what target it should destroy. Every step it took was towards the Association's command post. But right at this moment, a sickle slashed hard at the monster's body. "I'm gonna kill you." "You monster. Give me my dad back." Li Muwan's voice was filled with intense hatred. She unleashed all her power in an instant, and attacked like she had gone mad. But all of her efforts were completely useless. The monster slowly raised its hand and grabbed Li Muwan by the neck, and lifted her up into the air. The Ironblood Regiment and God Hunters took advantage of the monster being distracted, and started attacking together. But the second the Ironblood General touched the monster, a powerful recoil force threw him flying back. The God Hunters also couldn't do any damage to the monster. What kind of monster is this? The monster threw a casual punch and smashed the general's head, then turned to look at the God Hunters. The chief officer, the very next second, had his body backfired by his own ability. The chief officer's eyes were wide open until the moment he died, in just a few short seconds. It actually learned how to use my power. After killing the two of them, the monster turned to look at Li Muwan, and fixed its gaze right on Li Muwan's heart. It's like there's something in that spot drawing it in. "You bastard." "Give it back to me." Li Muwan's tears rolled down her cheeks. They landed right on the monster's arm. The monster absorbed them the second they made contact. Then the monster wore a creepy grin. The girl's birthday. This piece of trash was imitating Old Chin, trying to provoke Lin Mu this way. "I will kill you. I will kill you for sure." The next second, the monster squeezed harder with its hand. Li Muwan immediately found it hard to breathe. Just when everyone thought Li Muwan was as good as dead, Mo Yu charged at the monster with a red long knife in hand. But it was already too late. No one could stop what was coming at all. "Give my dad back to me." The monster looked like it was going all out right then. It slowly lifted the knife in its hand, then stabbed it toward Li Muwan's heart. It seemed like it wanted to see what exactly was in this human's heart, and why it made him feel so uneasy. The moment the blade was about to pierce Li Muwan's heart, a hand suddenly shot up and grabbed the incoming black blade. No matter how hard the monster pushed, the blade wouldn't move forward even a little bit. But this wasn't the end of it. The war between awakeners and beasts was still going on. Only this time on the human side. There was an extra special existence. 5,000 years ago, the 7 prime beasts led countless beast hordes and appeared in the human world. This pushed the once peaceful human race to the brink of extinction until the divine manifestation occurred. A group of people with special powers emerged. That was when the one-sided situation finally turned around. At the same time as the divine manifestation, among the beasts, a beast that could evolve infinitely was also born. After almost 100 years of brutal fighting, the first generation of awakeners managed to force the prime beasts into captivity in a special dimension. As for that infinitely evolving beast, for some reason, it voluntarily agreed to be locked up there too. But the endless beast hordes could never be fully wiped out. 1,000 years passed in the blink of an eye. The imprisoned prime beasts rioted and managed to escape. Only the beast that had volunteered to be locked up never left the whole time. It looked like it was waiting for something. Finally, a young boy showed up and broke through this long-sealed land. In the 9527th year of the new calendar, beast hordes descended once again. Thousands of years had passed. Humans had long lost the unity they had back then. Right now, with the Night Watchers suffering heavy losses, everyone thought they had won the Great War. But that wasn't the case at all. Suddenly appearing black creatures massacred a huge number of people, including the priest who had created miracles. After Li Muwan witnessed the whole thing, she was completely heartbroken. She screamed and charged at the black monster, wanting to avenge her dad. But it was all for nothing. The monster raised its hand to kill her right there. The moment the blade was about to pierce Li Muwan's body, a big hand covered in white bones, blocked the Black Blade's forward momentum. The black monster turned its head to see what was going on. But what greeted it was an unbelievably terrifying, powerful force. It sent the black monster flying immediately. The black armor on its body also cracked over a large area. Everyone present held their breath at this scene. The one who sent the black monster flying wasn't an awakener. It was another beast, one covered in sea mist, reeking of the stench of death. I ignored that black monster and directly hugged the weak Li Muan. I turned around and handed Li Muan to Mo Yu, who was standing nearby. My movements were as gentle as if I was passing a priceless treasure. Just when Mo Yu was about to say something, a huge force hit me from behind. I wanted to react, but it was already too late. The black monster's attack slammed hard into my body. At the same time, a crisp bone-cracking sound rang out, but this injury only made my anger burn even hotter. As I was sent flying, I grabbed the black monster's thigh, slammed it to the ground, and started wildly punching its forehead over and over. Each punch shook the ground beneath us. The Awakeners were completely stunned by now, because they had never seen such powerful strength before. Even the Core Lord, a being that looks down on all living things, could only take the beating helplessly. Suddenly, the Core Lord grew a black tail stinger and stabbed it hard at me. The sharp pain completely ignited my rage. The next second, I grabbed the Core Lord's head and roared loudly, then threw a hard punch, shattering the left half of the Core Lord's face. This made the Core Lord, who was still shouting just now, go limp immediately. At this moment, I didn't care at all how fierce the monster in front of me was. Kept punching blow after blow, venting all the rage inside like a madman. At the same time, a woman in white in the distance was trembling all over. She is from the Apocalypse Society and has much stronger perception than others, so she knew very well this white skeletal beast possesses unbelievably terrifying power. Just when everyone thought the outcome was decided, the dying Core Lord suddenly opened its huge mouth. Terrifying energy was gathering inside its mouth. If this energy exploded, the entire city would be torn apart. At this critical moment, I slammed my fist into its mouth, grabbed its neck with one hand, and snapped its lower jaw off forcefully. The energy in the monster's mouth dissipated right after. Its body kept twitching. Its eyes were filled with rage, confusion, and fear. But that didn't put out the rage in my heart. I pressed its head down with one hand, used all my strength, and let out a loud roar, ripped its head off along with its spine. Blood gushed out immediately, falling onto the ground like rain. After doing all that, I slowly stood up and looked around. I saw that everyone looked terrified. I ignored them all, took one last look at the spirit creature in Mo Yu's arms, then carried the Core Lord's corpse and vanished from everyone's sight, leaving only a group of shaken awakened ones and the slowly closing rift in the sky. The beast tide was over, but no one cheered or celebrated. We won, that's for sure, but humans could never kill a Core Lord on their own. Right away, countless support type awakened, started searching the ruins for surviving companions. Meanwhile, in some random ruin, I was lying on the ground throwing up like crazy. What the hell did you do to him? What the fuck are you even... If something happens to me, please take good care of the girl for me. Xinfeng's words kept playing in my head. Tears rolled down my face. I actually wanted to protect all of you. Then I turned to look at the Core Lord next to me. Do you know what it means to Lin Wan? You pieces of shit. You already made him lose his parents. Now you're taking away from him again, his last remaining family. Give him back! Give his family back to him! Then I shot to my feet, grabbed the Core Lord's head, and bit down hard on it. When the Core Lord's core was exposed, a strange wave of hunger hit me. I madly stuffed the Core Lord's flesh and blood, along with the core down my throat. After I was done, an unprecedented wave of weakness washed over me. I slowly closed my eyes and felt my consciousness being tugged at non-stop. When I opened my eyes again, I saw Bai He standing the same way as before, standing quietly in the cell. The moment our eyes met, I actually saw the same rage as mine in its eyes. I was confused. It's a beast. Why would it have such a strong urge to kill other beasts? What makes you so angry anyway? What the hell are you? As I spoke, I suddenly noticed my hands were covered in black armor plates. And these armor plates belonged to the Core Lord I killed earlier. While I was still thinking, Bai He grabbed my neck with one hand. This isn't my anger. All this rage is yours. Bai He's hoarse voice rang in my ears. At the same time, the obedience level marked on the cell plate started flickering non-stop, or submit to it. At the same time, A force flowed into my body through Bai He's hand, followed by a searing, tearing pain. Bai He let go of my neck. I fell to my knees. The black armor plates had already covered my head by now. A strong sense of suffocation wrapped around me instantly. Memories from before started flashing in my mind. The 4 major organizations of the Awakened Association, and the former head of the Night Watchers. They all deserved to die. Everyone deserves to die, I could feel. The Core Lord's power eroding me. An unprecedented rage was taking over. My mind as I stared fixedly at the scene in front of me. I didn't make a single move. The next moment I slowly lifted my head. The unique glint that belonged to me in my eyes was gone completely. Everything was settled. I lost the fight against the Core Lord's core, and completely became a part of it. Just then, inside the prison office, an open notebook is writing on its own. New prisoner. Codename Shadow Ender. Kneel first, then register. Shh, Lily. He took one last look at the fading human. The blue flame in his eyes is slowly dying out. Are you sure that's what you call that nation? After that, he turned and walked back into the darkness to continue his long wait. But right at this moment, a loud crashing sound rings out. Bai He turns around in shock. I'm covered entirely in black armor plates, slamming my head hard against the iron bars. The human glow in my eyes is gradually returning. The crashing sounds over and over again echo through the dim, long corridor. Countless eyes slowly open in the darkness, as if they can sense something that piques their interest has appeared. Crack! Large cracks spread across the black armor on my head. Then it starts to slowly peel off. Who the hell is the real master of this body now? If I can't stop the rage from spilling over, then I'll conquer it. With the final impact, all the black armor on my body shatters completely. At the same time, shock and excitement appear in Baigu's eyes. Right after that, blue flames also ignite in my pupils. All the rage is under my control now. As soon as I finish speaking, a powerful airwave spreads from my feet. I have regained control of my body. Bai He walks to the edge of the cell. He holds out a hand and says, "Your journey is still going on. Let's bounce first." I was slightly stunned when I heard that. Then I reached out and held Baigu's hand. At that exact moment, the information on the cell door changed. The place that originally had the 3 big words obedience level was completely erased. It was replaced by the word resonance. Baigu also changed at the same time. The white bones on his body are slowly peeling off. Then a set of black and gold armor appears on his body. Every inch of it has sleek and aesthetic lines. A bunch of new information suddenly pops up in my mind. Devour Core. Democratic Core unlocked successfully. Baigu attack form. I was stunned for a moment. The power form that was so strong before wasn't even the attack type. I slowly lift my head to look at Baigu. Will you continue to assist me? As long as your goal is victory, I will follow you. Until the very end. I nodded with a smile. Nice working with you then. That's not the office we were in just now. The text that was just written starts to change. Fairyland Prisoner Annihilator has been devoured. Warden Candidate has appeared. I suddenly feel a cold breath in my mouth. I open my eyes abruptly. I found Mo Yu sitting next to me, anxiously wiping the corner of his mouth. I looked at him confusedly. Mo Yu. Then I felt my throat was a little wet. Then I saw the mineral water bottle in his hand. I immediately understood what happened. Thanks, I said as I slowly stood up. Mo Yu came over to help me when he saw that. Then I saw the remaining water stain on the corner of Mo Yu's mouth. My mind immediately started to connect the dots. Mo Yu noticed I was staring at the corner of his mouth. He let go of my hand immediately. Don't get me wrong. I couldn't pour water into your mouth just now, so I had to give you mouth to feed you water, although I had guessed a little just now. But hearing Mo Yu admit it himself, I was still a little dumbfounded. That beast was you, right? I asked after a moment of silence. Mo Yu was the first to break the silence. I didn't avoid it. I chose to admit it. Because when I was unconscious just now, he didn't attack me. He saved me instead. That means he has no ill will towards me. Good night, Yima. Relax, the Fearless sent him and Du Ziteng to the medical department of the association. What about his crack? It has already disappeared. Humans have also won, although some beasts are still lurking in the city. We will continue to hunt them down until the last moment. Mo Yu had a faint smile on his mouth as he spoke. It seems that humans really looked forward to winning this big battle. Do you care a lot about that Li Muan? While I was thinking, Mo Yu suddenly asked this question, Actually, I didn't understand what he meant. I spoke with a little vigilance. Yeah, she once saved my life. That's all. Moyu's voice had a hint of anxiety. What else would it be? I lifted my head slightly to look at him. Although there was strong discontent in his eyes, Moyu obviously didn't want to continue talking about this topic. He looked away, puffing out his cheeks a little angrily. Of course, I could sense that something was wrong, but I didn't think much about it. Then I asked out loud, "Why didn't you behead me when I was unconscious?" Moyu put her hands on her chest. She didn't answer right away. "You suspected me when we were at the cinema, and you looked into me later. And now you're even sure I'm that beast, aren't you?" Moyu sighed softly. Then she nodded slowly. "But I don't get why you didn't. I never looked into you because I suspected you." Moyu cut me off mid-sentence. The cold look on her face faded right away. Instead, she looked totally wronged and aggrieved. "Then why did you do that? That's my personal business. I don't want to talk about it." Moyu huffed and turned to leave. I stayed where I was, watching her walk further and further away, feeling really confused. I just felt like she was full of secrets. "Thanks for giving everyone a break, but never show your powers in front of other people." Moyu's voice drifted over to me. Before I could figure out what she meant, her figure was already gone. The last of the sunset glow faded slowly, and night fell soon after, leaving only the teen's lonely silhouette and the faint sweet taste still lingering in his mouth. Humankind had finally got the victory they'd waited years for. But this was only the first step for the teen. The road ahead, paved with hundreds of bones, was still impossibly long. October 9527 of the new calendar. Humankind finally won the great battle against the beast horde, even though it was the only victory they'd had in hundreds of years. No one was happy about this win at all. All the Awakener organizations had suffered heavy losses. If it weren't for that skeleton monster, the whole city would have been turned to ash by now. This battle made Mo Yu, who was originally disliked by everyone, the hottest topic among all the major organizations. At the same time, the 4 major organizations also started sending more people to Jiangling City Association while organizing search and rescue efforts. Had already secretly collected the cores of the 4 lords, except for the core of the core lord. Its whereabouts are still unknown to this day. The night the beast horde ended, the association held an emergency meeting. They finally decided to name the skeleton Monster X and label it with the highest danger level. This is also up until now the second beast to get the highest danger level rating. The first one appeared 5 years ago. It's the World Destroyer that caused the Night Watcher president to defect. This shows just how terrified humans are of deep-sea monsters. The day after the beast horde passed, at my request, Mo Yu didn't mention my role in the great battle, so all the credit for this battle went to him. Members who died from the 3 major organizations, all were given a posthumous honor ceremony, except for the man who single-handedly killed the core lord's strongest subordinate. Got no mention at all. Later, all the members who survived the assessment were exceptionally promoted to full members of the Awakener Association, but none of these people looked happy at all. Just thinking about the horrible events from yesterday still makes them shake all over. Li Muan wasn't there. Last night I headed to the Awakeners Hospital and found out that Night Watchers don't qualify for treatment there. Right when I was about to lose my cool, Chuho ran over and said he had transferred Li Muan to another hospital, but she was nowhere to be found when we got there. Luckily, a nurse told us Li Muan had been discharged that morning. She barely got any treatment, but her injuries were almost fully healed. I knew this was caused by my powers affecting her. Either way, as long as she's okay, nothing else matters. I didn't stay for the victory banquet and headed straight for the old house where old Qin and Li Muan had lived in for over a decade. Soon I was standing at the door. I hesitated for a long time before I finally spoke up. "Kiddo." A few seconds later, rustling sounds came from inside the room. I waited for a while, but the door still didn't open. "Kiddo, it's me." "It's not locked." Li Muan's weak voice drifted from inside the room. The despair and sadness in her voice made my heart twitch hard. I slowly pushed the door open. I saw the girl curled up on the bed she'd slept in for over 10 years, like she was searching for the last bit of comfort. She had a dazed, helpless look on her face. Her eyes were empty and lifeless. It looked like the whole world had lost all its color to her. In her hand, she was gripping the hair clip she'd had for years tightly. The whole room was filled with a heavy, suffocating atmosphere. I walked quietly to the side of the bed, looking at Li Muan on the bed. "Have you eaten?" Li Muan's pale lips trembled a little, but she didn't say anything. She was hugging a tattered rabbit doll tightly to her chest. Old Qin had bought it for her when she was little. The stuffed rabbit has a faint smile on its face. like it's reassuring her that everything will be okay. But this little comfort only made her miss Old Chin even more. Li Muan slowly turned her head to look at me. Her eyes were filled with fragility and despair. I don't have a dad anymore. Li Muan was dug out of the rubble by rescuers. At first, everyone thought it was an earthquake. When her father carried her out, she was horrified to see the entire street was full of terrifying monsters. People were running for their lives everywhere. Her father handed her over to her mother to let the mother and daughter escape. He was brutally killed by the monsters. Then disaster struck. Her mother awakened right before she died and used her life force to create a small safe zone for her, a thin barrier that protected her from any harm. But her mother never opened her eyes again. No one knew how much time passed. The roars of monsters above her were still going on. Just when she was about to give up, she heard a monster scream in pain. Then a voice called out, "Is there an awakened down there?" She had no idea what an awakened was, but her will to survive made this 5-year-old girl cry and scream as hard as she could. "Don't cry, I'm getting you out of here." Then came the sound of rubble being moved away. Finally, a ray of sunlight shone through the crack. A strong hand covered in blood lifted her out of the ruins. Even though the man was covered in blood, he forced a smile at her. "Hey, little girl, let's play a game, okay? Close your eyes. Count from 1 to 100, and when you open them again, Uncle will have a present for you, yeah?" She nodded shakily. Then she closed her eyes. Curled up in the man's arms, she counted while trembling the whole time. Blood kept dripping onto her clothes. But she didn't get hurt at all. She counted to 100, exactly. She slowly opened her eyes and saw the man leaning against a big tree. His clothes were completely soaked with blood, but he was still holding her tightly. "Uncle! Uncle!" She shook the man's body shakily, scared that he would just pass away like that. It was like the man came back to life for a moment. After taking a deep breath, he adjusted his breathing and slowly lifted one hand. In his hand was a blood-stained little rabbit hair clip. "Come here, little girl. This is for you, Uncle. I don't want a present. I just want you to stay alive. Don't be like Mom and Dad. Don't worry, I won't die." "Really?" "I'm just a heavy sleeper," he chuckled softly, and she buried her head in his arms and sobbed loudly. Her cries carried both a child's fear of the current situation and grief over her parents' death. "Don't worry, I'm your family from now on. I definitely won't die. If you ever find me sleeping too heavily, just kick me as hard as you can to wake me up. I keep my word always." Liar. Li Muan opened her eyes in a daze. It felt like she had cried all her tears out. She was lying alone on the bed. The dim room felt extra lonely. She would never see that figure again. She used to hate him the most. She clearly had school the next day, but he would still watch TV and drink in the living room without a care. Li Muan clenched her fists. A sharp pain hit her chest. Dad's room was really small. You could see the worn-out sofa in the living room just by turning your head. And this sofa was the bed that man slept on for over 10 years. The moment her gaze landed on the sofa, her breath caught in her throat. There was someone lying on it. "Hold Chin!" Li Muan scrambled over to the sofa as fast as she could. For a second, she thought she had misunderstood everything. Old Chin wasn't dead. He was still alive. How could he die? He said he was invincible. He said he would never die. Old Chin? When Li Muan got to the edge of the sofa, her eyes immediately went hollow, because the person on the sofa wasn't Chin Feng. When I heard the noise, I looked at Li Muan in front of me and seemed to realize what was going on. I stood up and gently carried her back to the bed. "Can you leave me alone for a while?" Li Muan said hollowly. "Call me if you need anything. I'll come right over." Oh, what is love in this world that makes people willing to give their lives for it? Half an hour later, at the hospital exclusive to awakened ones, I found out that old Du had been moved out of the ICU. His face was as cold as ice. "What do you mean by this?" The doctor was suddenly hit by the killing aura, radiating from the man in front of him, and jumped in fright. "Look, kid, I'll be honest with you. Some people in the association don't want the night watch to have a peaceful time at all. Qin Feng is dead, but Du Ziteng is still alive. So, on top of that, the association claims that the night watch acted without authorization and caused heavy losses. As a result, they ordered the hospital to stop treating all night watch members. Hearing that, I clenched my fists so hard they creaked. "Shinever, Du Ziteng. They are all heroes who fought against the tidal disaster. I turned around and left right after saying that. The moment the door closed, the doctor made a phone call. Vice President, I've done exactly as you ordered. Relax, Du Ziteng will definitely be dead by tonight at the latest. Are you sure this won't get us into trouble? Some little punk showed up just now. He's fine. All right. I understand. I was standing outside the door and heard every word of the call. Do humans like this even deserve to be protected and saved? In the dark, cramped Ward 7, Du Ziteng was lying on the hospital bed, like a dying man abandoned by the whole world, quietly waiting for death to come. The door was slowly pushed open, but the person who walked in wasn't the Grim Reaper. I stared at old Du on the hospital bed, who had no breathing assistance device, or IV drip attached to his body at all. I clenched my fist as tight as I could. I stood by the side of the hospital bed, watching his life force slowly fade away. Do you want to live? Mr. Du, if you want to stay alive, just hold my hand. I stretched out one hand as I finished speaking. Last time I didn't get Li Muan's permission. Before I use the beast's power to extend her life. We haven't found any side effects so far, but I'm still not totally sure right now whether Li Muan's current body still counts as a normal human's. That's why I want old Du to choose for himself this time, even if it's just a small twitch of his finger. While I was lost in thought, old Du let out a hoarse whimper. Then his finger slowly moved a little bit, as if he was trying his best to touch my hand. I get it. Mr. Du, you're gonna live. Then I suddenly thrust my hand into my chest and pulled out a glowing green crystal from where my heart should be. I actually knew this long ago. This method is exactly how we turn people into infected. But as long as you can stay alive and keep your own consciousness, what does it matter even if you're an infected? After I finished doing all this, I walked out of the ward. I stood at the door and stayed silent for a long time. I took out my phone and made a call. Shuha, do me a favor. Anything you need, bro. Don't be polite with me. The hospital is refusing to treat old Du right now. Can you bunch of useless losers. Relax, bro. I'll take care of it right away. Right at this moment, I happened to see the big screen in the hospital corridor, playing a live broadcast. It's the Awakener Association's official speech on fighting the tidal disaster. The whole thing is just them shifting blame. They want the Night Watch to take all the blame for the battle losses. They were clearly the heroes of the battle. So why did things end up like this? You bunch of animals. Rage surged up in my chest again. I smashed the screen with one punch. This scared all the surrounding people badly. My call with Chu. He was still connected at this point. Bro, don't do anything rash. The association is just looking for a fall guy this time. They just need to give the higher-ups an explanation. They won't mess with the Night Watch after that. Explanation. A cold sneer appeared on the corner of my mouth. Then I'll give them the damn explanation they want. I crushed the phone to pieces right on the spot. By the time the people there reacted, I was already gone. I'm not actually an easily angered person. I always carefully hide my true emotions. The reason I'm so furious right now, is it because of Old Chin's death? Or is it a side effect of this power? No, none of these are the reason. It's because of a very real fact. I have power now, so I have the right to be angry. Even if doing this ruins the secret plan Old Chin worked so hard to make for me, I still resolutely head towards the Awakener Association. At the same time, the ruins left after the great battle were now the place where a robed old man with a cane was walking slowly. He was muttering obscure ancient words under his breath. The wind chime on his cane kept making clear tinkling sounds nonstop. Come back, soul. As soon as he finished speaking, countless souls started gathering around him. The old man raised the crutch in his hand, as if looking for something. Finally, the crutch touched one of the souls. A weird smile crept onto his face. Yes, found you. Then he stretched out a withered hand to guide that soul into the wind chime on the crutch. Such a pure soul, Qinfeng. It's not your time yet. Grandpa, that Uncle Qinfeng, will he ever come back to life? That boy and Li Muan, did they end up together? Wait, and also, what's the deal between Mo Yu and that boy? Haha, take it easy, kiddo. Let Grandpa tell you the whole story slowly. The Night Watchers paid a huge price for winning the Beast Horde War, but they never got the respect they deserved. After the boy found out, he went to the association's headquarters alone. Therefore, we decide to disband the Night Watchers immediately and hold them responsible for all casualties in this war. The vice president finished his accusation against the Night Watchers. Actually, everyone present knew the truth. Qinfeng is dead. Du Ziteng is disabled for life. The Night Watchers only have 2 kids left, and Yun Meng, who no one has ever met, Isn't this scapegoating a little too much? But who wants to be the one to stick their neck out? Since no one objects, effective immediately, the Night Watchers will not be disbanded. Furthermore, we will not be held responsible for the fallen members. Just then, a jarring voice cut off the vice president's speech. Mo Yu saw that it was me who came, and frowned deeply, because she could sense a faint, unstable aura from me. Who are you? The vice president looked at me calmly, unfazed. I let out a cold sneer, and walked slowly towards the main podium. Wang Ming from the Night Watchers. So you're the awakened one who just passed the assessment. I heard from Mo Yu about you. You're a very rare talent. I can recommend you to join the 4 major organizations. What do you say? As soon as he said that, the whole crowd burst into commotion. A random kid got a personal recommendation from the vice president. But I only found it hilarious. This son of a bitch. Still trying to make himself look good even now. Mo Yu was staring at me and her message was clear. I should leave right now. She'll handle this. But I ignored her kind gesture. Did I not make myself clear just now? I came here to demand an explanation. The smile on Vice President Gu's face froze instantly. Explanation. Can you and your organization give the victims a proper explanation? Are you fucking stupid? As soon as I said that, everyone present was stunned. No one expected someone to dare talk to the vice president like that. I'm telling you and your so-called organization to give Xu Yelian an explanation. As soon as I finished, the heads of the 3 major organizations couldn't sit still. This was supposed to be just a formality to find a scapegoat. Who knew this kid would dare talk so recklessly? Did I hear that right? The vice president at this moment was still trying to keep up his so-called grace. That's right. Qin Feng and Du Ziteng fought alone and wiped out the beast horde on the core battlefield. What were your so-called organizations doing back then? These bastards just stood there and watched the whole time. Many people present knew the truth, but none of them dared to speak up. Members of the 3 major organizations were furious. Suddenly, a member of the Dreadnoughts charged at me with a spear. When I saw his face clearly, I realized, that's Huang Yu, the guy I offended during the assessment. No wonder he's so pissed off. The moment the spear was about to hit me, I threw a punch. The spear broke into pieces instantly. I grabbed Huang Yu by the neck. You just tried to kill me, right? You embarrassed me twice. I'll definitely kill you. As I tightened my grip, Huang Yu started breathing rapidly. He turned to look at the vice president. Uncle, save me. Oh, so he's got connections, huh? You dare kill me. The association will never let you get away with this. The vice president watched this with a livid face. Let go of him now. Infighting is forbidden in the association. You've committed a capital offense. At the same time, energy started gathering in his hand. But with so many people watching, he couldn't attack a junior. Members of the 3 major organizations didn't want to interfere either. After all, it's none of their business. So they just stayed out of it. As for the current situation, it's literally an exact copy of the scene when old Qin died fighting alone. Back then, finally I slowly loosened my grip. You useless piece of trash. Lucky you know your place. The vice president heaved a sigh of relief seeing this, but the moment Huang Yu turned around, a cruel smirk spread across my face. I mumbled words only Huang Yu could hear. I really won't kill you. But I need your body to send a message. Right after that, I punched Huang Yu hard. Then a crisp, bone-cracking sound was heard. Huang Yu's entire arm shattered on the spot. The vice president stared at me furiously. Kill this bastard for me. But no one at the scene moved a muscle. I knew perfectly well. This was the perfect chance. I had to let everyone know. Night Watchers are not easy to bully. Just as I lifted my foot to walk towards the vice president, a figure stood right in front of me. She obviously wanted to shield me behind her. I looked at Mo Yu's back, confused. What are you doing? I know what you're up to. But it's not the right time yet. Please trust me. Mo Yu seemed to have read my mind. She whispered to me. The previously aggressive crowd saw Mo Yu standing in front of me, stopped in their tracks immediately, because her long blade was already unsheathed. The atmosphere around dropped to freezing point. Mo Yu, what do you mean by this? Mo Yu slowly raised her long blade. Its cold hum frayed everyone's nerves. That was Mo Yu's answer. What are you doing? You shouldn't have gotten involved in this. Mo Yu ignored me. She glanced coldly at everyone present. Huang Yu started this whole thing first. Letting him live is already showing mercy. Then she slowly looked at the 3 major organizations and the vice president. All of you kept saying the association bans private fights. But when Huang Yu attacked just now, did any of you stop him? These words immediately left the heads of the 3 organizations speechless. The The vice president released all his aura at once. That's total nonsense. Mo Yu, are you speaking on behalf of the daredevils right now? This made me a little awkward. I originally planned to use Huang Yu's arm to send the message that Night Watchers haven't fallen yet, and there's still someone in charge. But now Mo Yu is standing on my side. That will only make things more complicated. Mo Yu wanted to say something else, but I glared at her sharply to shut her up. I can't let Mo Yu get involved any further. Right at this moment, I felt several powerful auras approaching. Then I saw more than 10 men and women walk over. Oh, so these are the association's Imperial Guards. I heard even the weakest among them are Tier 5. Too bad you keep such strong forces hidden and never use them. During the Beast Tides, leave them to me. Don't show your power. Mo Yu frowned and whispered to me. I really couldn't understand this woman at all. She's openly opposing the association in front of so many people. My relationship with her? Isn't that close, right? And she kept telling me not to reveal my power. It's like she knows some inside information no one else does. This weird situation made me hesitate to act rashly. The next second, a woman in white walked in. Headquarters order, no one shall attack the Night Watchers. All restrictions on Night Watchers are lifted immediately. Xinfeng and Du Tengzi are not guilty either. Therefore, the headquarters decides to posthumously award Qinfeng the title of hero. As soon as she finished speaking, everyone present was stunned. These few sentences completely refuted all the vice president's previous remarks. The vice president's face turned pale with anger. This kid injured a member of the Daredevils. How do you settle this? Xin smiled when she heard this. Since he's a member of the Daredevils, we'll go with the Daredevil stance. We will not pursue this matter. He started the trouble himself. He takes the consequences himself. That was Mo Yu's answer. Xin then announced, effective immediately. The Night Watchers will remain an official organization recognized by the association. All previous restrictions on Night Watchers are removed. After that, she looked at the vice president. Meanwhile, the association will investigate Vice President Hong Wu's passive response during the Beast Tides. Immediately, the organization in charge of this investigation is Iron Blood. As soon as she finished, the head of Iron Blood stood up with a smile, as if he already knew about this. He waved at the vice president pretentiously. You can't do this to me. I don't accept this verdict. The head of Iron Blood walked forward slowly. Vice President Luo, you'd better cooperate actively. There's more than one case we're investigating. Regarding the disappearance of President Luo, I'm sure you're involved in that too, right? Hong Wu wanted to say something else, but the Imperial Guards obviously wouldn't give him the chance. Watching the vice president and Huang Yu being taken away, I originally wanted to show off my skills, but I never expected this mess to pop up out of nowhere. But the result is good all in all. I turned to look at Seiya. I said thanks, and Seiya smiled. Then he pointed at Mo Yu beside me and said, You shouldn't thank me. She's the one you should thank. Then he turned and left. His words confused me a little, and when I caught sight of Mori, he was acting like nothing happened, directing his team to leave. I just walked out of the venue when I got a call from Chu He, saying Old Du had woken up and was already on his way to meet me. Sure enough, I looked up and saw Old Du not far away, wrapped in bandages, limping slowly towards me. I hung up the phone and walked straight in his direction. Before I could say anything, Old Du spat out 2 words seriously. Nonsense. What do you think you're doing? There was a faint hint of reproach in Old Du's eyes, but there was far more worry in them. Do you even realize? You're putting yourself in great danger. Teacher Du, you and Teacher Qin have already sacrificed way too much for the Night Watchers. Besides, all the people trying to take down the Night Watchers will definitely make a move soon. So we have to make them understand the Night Watchers are nowhere near close to falling. Don't get cocky. Old Du looked a little helpless hearing that. You're smart and very young, plus the special power inside you. It's easy for you to get the wrong idea, that you can fight the whole world all by yourself. Old Qin is gone, but he would never want to see you carry everything alone. I know you pulled me back from the brink of death, but this power should be your hidden strength. Not some flashy new label you show off to everyone. His words instantly woke me up. I really had let my anger take over me. I'm still here, old as I am. So don't play all your cards at once. Rely on me more often. As long as I'm alive, the Night Watchers will never fall. I suddenly had the illusion Old Qin was standing right in front of me. This man could barely even stand steady on his own, but he gave me such a strong sense of security. I looked at the man in front of me and nodded hard. I get it, Teacher Du. After that, I took Old Du and insisted on bringing him to the hospital Chu He arranged. When I walked out of the hospital, I saw Mo Yu standing at the entrance. Are you waiting for someone? Moyu froze slightly for a moment. I'm waiting for you. I frowned when I heard that. I couldn't figure out Moyu's behavior lately at all, so I always wanted to keep my distance from her. Thanks for what you did today, but you'd better not get involved with me next time. Before I could finish talking, Moyu cut me off immediately. Even if I hadn't stopped you today, you wouldn't have gone on a killing spree anyway, right? The second she said that, I was stunned for a second. Then I nodded. Why do you think that is? I could feel your anger was at its peak back then. Why didn't you kill everyone that was present there? Well, at least in this city. There's no one strong enough to fight you. I could clearly tell there was a hidden meaning in her words. Wouldn't killing all these people feel more satisfying for you? I had a feeling she was trying to get information out of me. Then I looked at her seriously. I'm not a monster, so there's no need to test me like this. I'm not. Moyu got anxious all of a sudden. She couldn't even keep her facial expression under control. Then she turned her head to the side and mumbled quietly under her breath. Why are you always so guarded against me? We stayed silent for a long time. Moyu sighed softly. Join the fearless. That way I can protect you. For some reason, I felt she was being totally serious when she said that, and this protection was clearly not related to raw power. So there must be another meaning behind her words. The air fell quiet again. 2 minutes later, I broke the silence. If you're interested in me, why don't you join the Night Watchers instead? As soon as I finished speaking, she made a confused sound. Moyu was completely stunned. She obviously didn't expect me to say something like that. A faint, hard-to-notice blush appeared on her face. I figured since I'd said that much already, she would understand what I meant. I turned around to leave. But what this girl said next really surprised me. Not right now. I'm not a free person yet. Everything I do is restricted by the Mo family. It's like there's a leash tied to me. I just finished the sentence for her right away. But what I didn't expect was he was actually really thinking about this question and even seemed willing to join. What's wrong with this woman anyway? I suddenly felt like I was getting a glimpse of his true heart. Moyu nodded, although I'm not convinced. That analogy is actually pretty spot on. Then she looked at me. Sorry, just forget what I said. Even if you join the fearless, I might not be able to keep you safe. With that, she turned to leave. Wait a second, I held out something to her. Moyu caught it instinctively, only to find it was a lollipop. Someone lately likes giving these to me to eat. I've kind of gotten used to it. If you ever really want to join, I'll personally break these so-called shackles for you. Also, eat a candy when you're in a bad mood. Don't always keep a straight face. Let me know when you make your decision. With that, I turned and left. Moyu watched my receding back, as if she wanted to say something, but ended up not saying a word. She put the lollipop away, and a faint smile appeared on her lips. Brother, that day will come for sure. Then she turned and walked the opposite way from me. Before heading home, I made a special trip to the market. I planned to make some nutritious dishes, and Li Muan's favorite foods to bring to her. I stopped when I got back to my apartment and was about to open the door, because I actually heard rustling sounds coming from inside my house. When I opened the door, the smell of food drifted out from the kitchen. What's going on? Did a thief break into my house to cook? I understood when I saw the small white shoes at the entryway, because those shoes belonged to Li Muan. Where did you run off to? Li Muan walked out of the kitchen. The light makeup on her face could barely cover her red, puffy eyes. I hurried over and grabbed her arm. Hey, what are you doing? Don't get handsy with me as soon as you arrive. Are you okay? Pfft, what could be wrong with me? Look how worried you are. That's so not like you. Li Muan forced a smile. Hey, let go of me now, or the water will boil dry. This is the milk I specially stewed for you. Go rest. I'll do it. I just tried to push Li Muan back into the kitchen, but she turned around and dodged me. I'm almost done already. Why did you buy so much groceries? What? You gonna cook all of them for me? Do you think I'm a pig or something? Then I cooked with her. I kept watching her the whole time, and noticed her mood was still off. She would zone out whenever she had nothing to do, so she kept forcing herself to stay busy. First she cooked, then we ate, and she cleaned up right after eating. And then she even insisted on deep cleaning my apartment. Head and neck check. With that, she ran into the bedroom and crawled under the bed. I didn't stop her this time. I just watched her quietly. Half her body was buried under the bed. We were silent for a long time, before Li Muan under the bed slowly spoke up. Am I really that useless? I've been a burden dragging him down for over 10 years. He never had to live such a hard life. I didn't say anything. I just waited quietly. for over 10 years. To buy me clothes, pay my tuition, and make sure I ate well. He ate instant noodles every single day. He never owed me anything at all. The Night Watchers owe a lot of money. Both him and Old Dew are having a really hard time. But he always gives me the best of everything. I remember once I came home late from drumming practice and found he'd drunk a lot of alcohol. He just lay there crying after he got drunk, saying he was sorry to me over and over while crying. He said such a good kid like me deserved a way better life, but had to cram into this crappy apartment with him. He's already tried so hard. But why? Why was he even crying? He's such an idiot. Such a dummy. I nodded slightly and comforted her gently. Every father wants to give his daughter a better life, probably in Old Chin's eyes. This kind of life isn't what you deserve. Lee Muan was sobbing under the bed, her body shaking uncontrollably. He has no idea. He's already the best dad in my heart. I don't want some fancy rich life. I just want him to come home safe and sound every day. Fight with me. Eat the food I cook. I want him to watch me grow up slowly. I want to be someone he can rely on. But Old Chin just doesn't get it, you know? I let out a sigh. Then I wrapped both hands around Lee Muan's waist. What do you think you're doing? I tugged Lee Muan out from under the bed hard, but she still kept her face buried in the crook of her arm. I pulled out the gift that Old Chin had bought earlier and handed it to her. What's this? It's a birthday gift from Old Chin to you. Lee Muan froze when she heard that. Then she opened it very carefully. Inside was a brand new mobile phone. There was also a receipt next to it. A flash of surprise crossed Lee Muan's eyes. It was immediately replaced by deep emotion. Then she broke into a smile. Silent tears rolled down her cheeks. This phone cost over 4,000 yen. That idiot? He won't even replace his own tattered clothes. Yet he bought me something this expensive. She stroked the last gift Old Chin gave her, as if she was recalling something. I didn't say a word. I just stayed by her side quietly. But the next second, Lee Muan grabbed me by the collar. I stared at her totally confused. Tear tracks were still on her face. Her eyes were shining like starlight. She looked at me super seriously. You're the one who made my heart beat again. You're also the one who made me accept reality. Yeah, I was really heartbroken. I still am, even now. So you have to take responsibility for me. Don't forget, this act isn't over yet. And also tonight. Can you... Her hand holding my collar trembled a little. There was a hint of pleading in her voice. Before she could finish speaking, I pulled her into my arms right away. The midday sun shone through before I knew it. It woke me up slowly. The second I opened my eyes, I smelled delicious food. I knew right away it was Lee Muan cooking. I remembered she slept soundly in my arms last night, even though there were tear tracks at the corner of her eyes. She finally got a good night's sleep after all. I stayed up until dawn before I finally fell asleep, but I guess I was too worn out. I slept straight until noon. When Lee Muan saw me get up, she spoke in an extremely gentle tone. Go wash up quickly. I was still worried, so I asked during the meal. Are you feeling better now? The future Old Chin wanted to see? I will definitely work hard to make it come true. I looked at the determination in her eyes. I made a casual joke. Old Chin also wanted to see you get married and have kids. Then you have to work hard for that. As soon as I said that, our eyes met. We locked gaze without realizing it. Then will you marry me? She blurted it out subconsciously. The air went dead silent for a moment. I still had food in my mouth that I hadn't swallowed. She also didn't seem to expect she'd say that. We both looked away awkwardly. After a moment, Lee Muan giggled and spoke. Heh, I'm just joking. Yeah, I figured as much. I lowered my head and poked aimlessly at my bowl. A few seconds later, I changed the subject. I asked her why she had so many different personalities. I was scared of getting along with people when I was little. I was like a hedgehog back then. I'd get nervous whenever anyone got close to me. Then Old Chin taught me to make up different masks for myself with acting. That way I can hide my true self. I ate my meal while listening to her talk. Who knew she'd stare at me super seriously the next second? And you are the only man who's taken off all my masks, so you have to take good responsibility for me. I froze for a second. Ha ha ha, you're joking again, right? No, I'm serious this time. Lee Muan's voice got quieter and quieter. I looked at her blushing cheeks. I couldn't tell for a moment. If this was another one of her amazing acting performances, just then my phone rang. A woman's voice came from the other end. Is this the Wraith from the Night Watchers? Yeah, that's me. What's up? This is Yun Luo. Bring Lee Muan to the headquarters for a meeting at 8 p.m. tonight. I hung up and cleared the dining table with Lee Muan. Neither of us brought up the topic we were talking about earlier. We both silently avoided it by mutual agreement. Night fell. The blinking neon lights in the city were like eyes in the night sky, peeking at all the joys and sorrows of the world. As the door to the Night Watchers' headquarters opened, a damp, moldy-smelling cold wind hit us in the face. Limuan slowed down her steps unconsciously. Her eyes seemed to be searching for something constantly, but the man she knew so well was gone forever. We walked into the office. We found a tall woman standing inside. She was sorting out old Du's handwritten documents. "You guys are 5 minutes late." "Sister Ling," Limuan called the woman's name in a low voice. Yunlo nodded slightly. "The situation right now is really tough. I'll get straight to the point. Though the association lifted the ban, we still owe a ton of external debt, so we need to find new funding sources to keep the organization running." Yulo's tone and eyes were completely emotionless. It was like the Night Watch's current situation had nothing to do with her at all. She was just like a talking puppet. Limuan seemed to get what I was thinking. She gave me a look telling me not to mind it. I learned from the rest of the conversation. Most of the Night Watch's funding came from Old Chin. Now that Old Chin is gone, we obviously have to figure something out. Also, the association headquarters issued a notice that we have to stop the organization's losses as soon as possible. The second unit must expand to 5 members, or the Night Watch will be forcibly disbanded. As for the disbanded members, if no other organization takes them in, they'll be assigned to the Suicide Squad for the next tide. I thought at first the headquarters order would be the Night Watch's lifeline, but now it looks like it's just a stay of execution. After leaving the Night Watch base, I couldn't hold it in anymore. Isn't she Old Chin's student? How can she act so cold? Everyone says that about her the first time they meet her. For normal people, having emotions is totally normal. But for her, she can never feel any of that. Hearing that, I kind of guessed what was going on, but I still waited for Limuan to explain. Sister Ling is the strongest in the Night Watch. Besides Old Chin, she's a psychic ability user. As long as the Awakened isn't way stronger than her, she can perfectly copy their ability. But she also lost all normal human emotions at the same time. That explains why she didn't care about Old Chin's death at all. But once when she was sparring with Old Chin, it seemed like she was actually angry. I was silent for a moment, then came to a conclusion. She probably hasn't completely lost her emotions. They're just suppressed by some kind of power. "Bingo, I'll clap for you." Limuan turned around and clapped playfully at me. I rolled my eyes at her. "You're not bad either. Hiding your emotions so well." Half an hour later, in Old Chin's room, I felt bad watching Limuan zone out. "Hey kid, go buy me a pack of cigarettes. And some barbecue too." Limuan looked at me in a daze. "You smoke?" I smiled, and gently pushed her out the door. "Hurry up. The barbecue stall will be closed if you're late." Limuan seemed to get what I was doing, and stuck her tongue out at me. "What barbecue stall closes this early?" After Limuan left, I started sorting through Old Chin's belongings, even though he looked messy. He kept all his stuff super organized. After checking the whole room and all his stuff, I immediately got what Old Chin was doing. Maybe he wanted to give Limuan a nice environment. That's why he was so neat with his personal life. A neighbor next door heard the noise and came to check on us. When they heard Old Chin died in an accident at the construction site, they sighed a lot. They said Old Chin was a good guy. Raising a kid all by himself was really hard. Later, as I kept sorting, I found something mixed in with his belongings. These are all records of Old Chin's dealings with those mystery organizations. The records are very detailed, except there's no name for that organization. Only a phone number was left. Suddenly, I felt something cold on my cheek. I turned around and saw the kid standing next to me out of nowhere. "Ah, you scared me to death." "Why did you turn around all of a sudden?" Limuan was as cowardly as ever. She pulled a prank but ended up scaring herself. Shouldn't I be the one who's scared? I smiled bitterly, helpless. Limuan looked at the papers in my hand and asked tentatively, "What's it say?" "It's info about core trades of some organization in Qinghe." "I can't believe Old Chin did all this stuff behind my back," Limuan said while eating barbecue. I glanced at her slightly. Logically, she was so close to me just now. There's no way I wouldn't have noticed her. The only explanation is that it's related to me reviving her. Limuan noticed my stare at this point. "If you want to look, just look openly. Are you shy or something?" As soon as she said that, I almost choked on thin air. I coughed twice, trying to ease my awkwardness. Then I walked towards the door. "I've got some stuff to take care of. Are you staying here tonight or coming home with me?" Limuan thought for a moment. "Huh, can't I go with you?" Her question caught me off guard. I didn't know how to respond. Personal matters have to wait in line." "You want to come?" Li Muan rolled her eyes at me. Phut, it's so late at night. Don't tell me you're sneaking out to buy porn books. I'll pass. I'll tidy up a bit more, then head home. All right, I'll wait for you. I walked out of the room with a smile. In my hand, I was holding the letter with the contact number written on it. Li Muan watched my receding back. A mischievous grin tugged at the corner of her mouth. Ugh, you're perfect in every way. Except you're terrible at lying. If you actually date me, you better watch out, okay? Meanwhile, at the Mo family residence, a heavy walking cane was slammed hard against the young girl's face. The blow sent her slender figure crashing to the ground. Get up! There wasn't a shred of pity in Mo Yusheng's eyes. His voice sounded like an indisputable order, making the scar-covered Mo Yu kneel back in front of her own father. Who do you owe everything you have now to? It's me. I turned you from a useless trash into who you are today. Then he slowly squatted down and looked at the young girl's blood-stained face. And this is how you repay me. Mo Yu said nothing. She just stared daggers at this so-called father in front of her. You actually sided with a lousy organization and went against the 3 major organizations, just as I thought. You even chose to drag the Fearless into this. Is this your way of repaying me? The man raised his hand again and slapped Mo Yu hard across the face. The young girl fell to the ground immediately. This time, a lollipop slipped out of her clothes. That was a promise, and also a tiny glimmer of hope. Who do you think you are? You're nothing but a dog I raised in this house. All I need is an obedient puppet. You just need to do as you're told. How dare you eat this kitty crap? The man got angrier as he spoke. He suddenly lifted his foot and stomped on the fallen candy. That stomp completely crushed the dreams and hope in Mo Yu's heart into tiny pieces. Listen to me carefully, you hear? Your mother was nothing but a cheap whore. With her lowly status, she actually dared to dream of winning my love. Just thinking about it makes me sick. The only reason I let you into the Mo family is because of your power. You have to do what others can't. You have to become a hero. You need to make the Mo family famous and respected, and make the Fearless the top organization of all. The man's expression gradually turned maniacal, though his words were full of expectation. Most of it was just chains binding Mo Yu. If this superpower of yours can't be used for me, I won't mind destroying you with my own 2 hands. The man didn't notice that. The girl he saw as nothing but a tool had lifted her head now. The strange look in her eyes was growing stronger. At the same time, something was quietly sprouting in her heart. Late at night, the young girl, wrapped entirely in black clothes, wandered aimlessly on the quiet street. She was clutching tightly in her hand the already completely shattered lollipop. Cold gusts of wind blew past, making her already broken heart feel even colder. The man's voice kept ringing in her head. Someone doesn't want the blood people to exist. Don't get involved with them ever again, even if the headquarters lets them off for now. This organization will be destroyed very soon. Even the new members. They won't spare any of them. She didn't understand. Who exactly did the Night Watchers offend? She lifted her head slightly and happened to see a familiar figure in the distance. Talking on the phone at the intersection, when Howlin saw the young man, Mo Yu squeezed the candy in her hand even tighter. I dialed the number written on the letter. The person on the other end obviously knew I wasn't Mr. Qin Sr. Whoever you are, stop trying to contact us. It's good for both of us. The other person's voice was obviously altered. You couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman at all. I'm Qin Feng's apprentice. I want to continue doing business with you. I don't care who you are. We won't do business with you anymore. Before the other person hung up the phone, I hurriedly added, I can get my hands on even more powerful cores. After a moment of silence, the phone rang again, different from before. This time, it was a woman's voice. Little buddy, are you sure you know what you're saying? I'm sure. Meet me in an hour, at Bin Hai Park. Come alone. Before I could ask any more questions, the call was hung up. When I called back again, the number turned out to be non-existent. I put away my phone. I calmed myself down a bit. I took a step forward and headed for the Bin Hai Park that's still under construction. Since old Qin died, I seem to have got something I never had before. That's probably the so-called responsibility, right? I thought old Qin's death would free the Leaf Seekers from their long-standing plight. But after paying such a terrible price, all we got was a chance to just barely survive, to stop the Leaf Seekers from losing more resources. I found the secret channel that old Qin had been using to trade cores under the table. After making an appointment with the other party, I headed alone to the unfinished Bin Hai Park. Half an hour later, I looked at the building standing in the dark and frowned slightly. Come out. I'm here to talk business, not to fight. As soon as I said that, over 100 people suddenly appeared in the originally quiet park. And at the very front of the crowd was a woman with a charming figure. Little buddy, the most important thing in business is honesty. Sis, I came here alone in the middle of the night. Isn't that honest enough? A mocking smile appeared on the woman's lips. She obviously didn't want to answer. Me, I hope you like the grave I picked out for you, little brother. I was slightly stunned when I heard that. Can I know why? Because you didn't come alone. As soon as she said that, the smile on my face froze. What do you mean? Do you really think we're idiots? We already guessed you wouldn't come alone, but we didn't expect you to be connected to him. As soon as she finished speaking, a figure appeared next to me. After I saw who it was, I was dumbfounded. What the hell? Why is it you again? Moyu didn't answer. He turned to look at the woman opposite. I was following him. He had no idea. It's not surprising that I didn't sense Moyu's presence. What is weird, though, is why I run into him everywhere I go. The woman looked at Moyu helplessly. Even though we have business dealings with your family, you broke the rules. So you'll have to die here with him. As soon as she finished, a man stepped out from behind her. The crazy ghost of 9 skies. Moyu obviously recognized the man's identity. Someone you know. I also noticed that something was off with that man's aura. No, he's a 9 skies member who died on the last mission. An awakened one who's already dead showing up here means he's an infected. The woman smiled. Little buddy, I didn't expect you to be so sharp. What a shame, though. Then she looked at Crazy Ghost next to her. Kill them all. Just as Crazy Ghost was getting closer, Moyu resolutely stood in front of me. I only glanced at him and could tell something was wrong with him. Are you hurt? Don't worry about me. I'll definitely get you out of here. Even though Moyu said he was fine, after being punished by his father, he could barely lift his right hand. Looking at him forcing himself to stand straight, I slowly walked forward. What are you doing? Trust me. I can handle this. I turned to him and gave a gentle smile. I trust you. So you trust me this time, okay? Moyu was stunned. He had no idea what I meant. But while he was still in a daze, Crazy Ghost charged at me with a sharp whooshing sound. Right when his attack was about to hit me, Crazy Ghost suddenly stopped moving. He tried his best but couldn't move forward even an inch. This confused the bored woman a little. What are you waiting for? Kill them. But Crazy Ghost acted like he didn't hear her, his eyes filled with fear. He forced a few words out through gritted teeth. What did you do to me? Nothing much, I'm just your natural counter. No one else present could see. Countless blue threads, connecting Crazy Ghost and me. At the same time, in Crazy Ghost's mind, an irresistible order appeared. Kneel, the next second. In the shocked gazes of everyone present, Mad Ghost thudded to the ground and prostrated himself in front of me. The only thought in Mad Ghost's mind right now is to submit. Moyu watched the scene unfold before her eyes and instantly recalled the embarrassing incident at the cinema earlier. Wait, is your ability? The power of the Devour Beast. Looks like you're not totally useless after all, little brother. Can we talk about the deal now? The smile on the woman's face remained unchanged. Sorry, Qingfeng. This contact line is already cut off. But I'm really curious, why would you still look for the Night Watch with powers like yours? For this question, I thought for a long time. If I have to say, there is still an organization in this world that's fully dedicated to saving humanity, then I believe it must be the Night Watch. Hearing this, the woman was slightly stunned for a moment. Sis actually really likes your naive side. Too bad, rules are rules, but we can build a new secret contact line. Wait for me, little brother. I'll contact you again. Just as the woman was about to leave, Moyu, who had been silent for a long time, raised a question. Yunyue Chamber of Commerce. Why do you have the power to control and turn people into the infected? As soon as these words came out, the woman stopped moving immediately. I didn't expect Miss Moyu had even found out our organization's name. But for this question, the little brother next to you must know way more about it than we do. Wait, are you guys the Nightwalkers? This question made everyone present fall into silence. A few seconds later, the woman let out a cold sneer. That's right, we are what the association calls the rats that walk in the shadows. But even so, we are still using our own methods to help humanity win this war. If you ever have nowhere to go one day, you are welcome to join us. After saying that, she took her people and left. In the silent park, only Moyu and I were left, along with Mad Ghost, who was still prostrated on the ground. I could tell Moyu had questions, but she never said a word about them. I didn't bring it up either. Then I released my control over Mad Ghost and told him to go back. He didn't say a single word the whole time. Only the look in his eyes was a little different when he left, just as Mo Yu was also about to leave. I grabbed her wrist quickly and took off her disguise under her shocked gaze. The cold wind brushed past the wounds on the girl's face, and the bruises were so glaring to see. Mo Yu suddenly turned her head away, obviously not wanting me to see her like this. "What happened to you?" I fell down by myself. Ignoring her struggles, I gently lifted the arm she was hiding behind her back and slowly rolled up her sleeve, only to see the shocking scars all over her arm. "Don't be silly. No matter how strong you are, if your wounds get infected, you can only wait to die." After that, I dragged her to the convenience store and carefully bandaged her wounds. Mo Yu didn't say a word the whole time. Only that strange look in her eyes grew more and more obvious. "Take better care of yourself from now on, okay?" After saying that, I was about to leave. Mo Yu hurriedly spoke to my retreating back. "I'm sorry," then. She took out from her pocket that completely broken lollipop. "I didn't take good care of the thing you gave me." I turned around to look at her. "It's fine, I'll just buy you a new one." "Wait." As she spoke, she gripped the candy even tighter. "I don't have enough ability to keep your gifts safe, so don't send me anything anymore." She slowly stretched out her hand and helped me tidy up my slightly messy hair. "Also, don't be this gentle to a girl so easily." After saying that, she left, watching her figure gradually disappear into the night. My heart was filled with complicated emotions. After a long while, I thought it's just a lollipop. Is it that big of a deal? When I got home, I didn't see Li Muan anywhere. After searching for a while, I saw her sitting on the balcony wearing a cloak, performing some kind of ritual. Countless souls were hovering around her, and she was muttering obscure ancient words under her breath. All of a sudden, the souls around her seemed to sense some kind of threat and started trying to break free from her control. The soul riot made it hard for her to hold on. Just then, a pair of big hands pulled her into his embrace. "Calm down, I'm here." Li Muan responded with a trembling voice, then continued with her ritual. When the yellow talisman finished burning, the soul riot finally calmed down. I watched the girl in my arms settle down before I slowly let go of her. "It's the middle of the night. What are you doing sorcery on my balcony?" She was originally a little awkward, but when she heard this line, burst out laughing with a snort. "Hey, you're the one doing that goofy shaman ritual. I'm trying to call out Old Chin's spirit." But her face quickly fell right after. But I couldn't find Meipa, not a single trace of her at all. Then she looked at me with a heavy tone. "It's not just for Old Chin's spirit. I'm also trying to gain more power. Only when I get stronger can I protect the Night Watch. I can't dump all the burden on you guys." I froze slightly when I heard that. I didn't expect this girl had already seen through my lie. "I don't know where you went. And I know you have a lot of secrets, but I won't ask you about them, Jingwei. I trust you." That made me feel a little guilty. Then I felt kind of helpless. I just contacted the organization that made a deal with Old Chin. "Dangerous? Not half as dangerous as what you just did." Li Muan smiled awkwardly. Then she seemed to notice something. She leaned close to me and sniffed. What's wrong?" I was confused by her sudden move. Li Muan didn't answer. She shoved me onto the couch, then straddled my lap right after. She gently brushed the hair, blocking her face away, and whispered in my ear, "Let me give you a heads up. Girls are super sensitive to smells, perfume especially." Right after saying that, she bit my neck. Then she got up and walked into the bathroom. It took me a long while to mutter, "Yeah, that's so scary." A few days later, at Old Chin's memorial service, Li Muan and I were thanking the guests who came to pay their respects. Just then, Mo Yu walked in formal attire. Li Muan didn't expect this at all. Someone from the Fearless actually showed up. When she saw Mo Yu was alone, she figured out what was going on. "May the path you blazed and the spark you lit not be extinguished so easily. Rest in peace." Mo Yu didn't stay for long. She just glanced at me before leaving. There was a rather complicated look in her eyes. When Li Muan caught that look, she immediately linked arms with me. I had no idea why she did that. Until Mo Yu left, Li Muan slowly let go of my arm. The next person to arrive was Chu Hei. "Big brother, big sister-in-law." "Don't call us that." "My condolences, Miss Liu." Chu Hei left an extra large platinum gift and left. At noon, most of the guests had left. Only Li Muan and I stayed behind. When the memorial reception was about to end, the temperature in the air dropped sharply. I looked up towards the door and saw a white-haired loli standing there. She seemed to be hesitating. I recognized her immediately. She was Yinjia from Wu Wangshan's assessment back then. I had a pretty good impression of her. When Yinjia saw she'd been spotted, she had no choice but to come in. "Please accept my condolences." "Thank you," Li Muan smiled gently. The girl seemed like she wanted to say something but held back. But she couldn't hold it in the end. "Can I join the night watch?" Worried she would get rejected, she quickly added, "I know I'm really weak, but I'll work really hard." What Limuan and I didn't expect was someone would want to join at a time like this. Limuan smiled and held out her hand. "Welcome to the team." The girl froze when she heard that. Then a tear rolled down her cheek. "Thank you." At the same time, at a meeting in the Apocalypse Society headquarters, the atmosphere was extremely tense. They had just received a piece of news. According to the prediction of the Apocalypse Society's Oracle, the next beast tide will arrive in 1 year, and its target is still Jiangling City. After a heated discussion, they reached a final conclusion, which was that in 1 year, all Awakeners will gather in Jiangling City to defeat the monsters from the rift together. Amid this heavy atmosphere, a woman dressed in white had a different thought at this time, because she firmly believed that White Star was a hope brought to humanity, and a turning point for humanity after thousands of years. And the faith in her heart was also gradually starting to change. The figure of that white skeleton kept popping up in her mind. A faint blush appeared on her cheeks. Maybe he is the real Apocalypse.